The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You ping.
Stunner! Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this We're Here Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024, this program starts now. Football! Oh, we're here, aren't we? Yes, we are. Just 2 days from now, the NFL will kick off its season when the Kansas City Chiefs will play host to the Baltimore Ravens. This past weekend kicked off a full slate of college football, and it was electrifying from start to finish. We have officially made it to football season.
Wow.
It's a wonderful time to be alive. There's a lot to catch up on. The Talks tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Sweet polo, Coach. How we feeling over there?
Fantastic. You know, it is game week. We've been waiting for a long time for the NFL to be back. 2 games during the week, and then obviously NFL Sunday. It truly feels like a dream, and college football delivered all weekend.
Yeah, college football not only delivered this past weekend all the way into last night as Boston College gets a massive dub over Florida State. And we'll talk about everything that happened in week 1 of college football. But it does feel like even the Florida State-Georgia Tech weekend with 4 games, Hawaii playing as well, that delivered. Mm-hmm. Then this past weekend delivered. They're saying numbers are through the roof. Everybody is yearning for football in Ty. The Iowa Hawkeyes might have their best football team they've ever had.
Whoa. They just might. You know, everyone kind of scoffed at me and laughed at me when I said, hey, this Iowa offense is going to look a lot more like, Oregon offense. And, I mean, I don't know. You score 40 points in the season opener. You put up almost 500 yards of total offense, completely dismantle Illinois State. And, yeah, we're talking national championship.
Okay,
right now.
I understand Big Ten dreams and aspirations are huge. There's a wagon over there in Happy Valley. Just want to give you a heads up.
Without a doubt.
Everybody here.
Ohio State looked pretty good, too.
Pretty solid. I mean, there's a lot and I'm excited to see, who comes out. USC even. I mean,
yeah, they look great.
USC had a massive win over LSU. There's the Big Ten's obviously packed in that. Who wasn't on the sideline for that particular game, if you could tell me?
Yeah, Coach Ferentz had to sit at home for that one.
Is Coach Ferentz on the sideline anytime one of these offense coordinators, even his boy, whenever they say we want to run something electrifying and he's just in a headset, run the ball up the middle for no yards? Is Kirk Ferentz the one that's been holding back this offense for this entire time, or him being absent and then you guys resembling a football team post 2000? What's going on here, you think?
I mean, it's certainly possible. Listen, I'd never say anything negative about Coach Ferentz. Just wouldn't do it. He's an excellent man. He's a great role model. He's exactly what you would want for a head football coach if you were rooting on for a team. But yeah, let's just say what Kirk says goes typically. So he did say going into this year, hey, listen, I'm gonna hand the reins over to Tim Lester. I'm gonna let him do his thing. Now we've heard that many times before, and kind of to your point, it's been, hey, let's run a double reverse pass here, and Kirk run the goddamn ball. We're not doing that. So, but yeah, he wasn't there, and the offense. It looked great. So
it did. It looked like football.
It did.
It looked like football. And I've paid attention to the Iowa Hawkeyes for a long time. Pat Anger obviously came into mind. Mitch King, A.J. Eads, let alone Dallas Clark, Bob Sanders. I have deep history with the Iowa Hawkeyes from the Indianapolis Colts days, and then I'm around you, so I've been following the Iowa Hawkeyes. Mm-hmm. It has been cruel and unusual punishment to watch that football for a while.
Without a doubt.
Like, so incredibly dominant on the defensive side. Torrey Taylor was awesome for me to watch.
Yeah, of course.
But whenever the punter's potentially getting a Heisman vote from your fan base, that obviously says a lot about how your modern football is going. Them putting up 40, 500 yards. Let's go, Iowa.
Yeah, here we go, boys.
Because Iowa's going to win games without offense.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. So now that you actually have an offense potentially, look out. Is this the year for the Iowa Hawkeyes?
It could be. It could be. I mean, I say it every year, but I am really feeling it after last Saturday. I really am.
One half of the hammer, Cowboys tone Digz. There's a lot of overreacting to this week 1 football.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, Miami's back. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Cam Ward just went absolutely bananas. And on the flip side, University of Florida's dead. I mean, that is absolutely over. Florida State's dead, but Boston College might be all the way back with Castellanos and the boys. West Virginia, obviously, tough start.
Yeah.
Tough start. 2-hour delay. People aren't talking about it. There's a 2-hour delay.
Sure.
They were playing well before it.
Sure, they're a second half team. They're a second half team.
Plan was there.
Sure, West Virginia had a bigger locker room and access to the entire building during that delay.
Yeah.
And Penn State was confined to a away visitors locker room. And then they came out on the field and played better somehow than they did in the first half. And Penn State might be wagging. I ain't worried about West Virginia one bit. Okay, we didn't look great. Certainly didn't look great. Yeah. We were certainly outsized in a few positions. I think we're out athletic in a few positions, but the boys got a long road ahead of them.
Yeah.
And that country road is going to take us home to where we belong, and that's going to be the Big 12 championship. Yeah. So everything I said before the season still remains.
Okay.
But what I need to adjust a little bit is, boy, Penn State's a fucking team. Yeah. This Drew Aller kid. Now, I completely forgot, and this is on me, Drew, and the entire Penn State crew. I forgot he's an Ohio guy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I forgot he was born and bred in football. I forgot about that. So a leap from one year to the next year, I don't think anybody was talking about it because he stayed there. He didn't transfer. A lot of transfer talk, transfer quarterback this, transfer this. He is a massive son of a bitch.
Yeah.
He is a dog, and he's chirping afterwards. He's throwing the ball down the field, putting it in absolute darts and spots. They had a 2-hour delay. He came out even better on the other side. He ran over our guy. I mean, that's a strike right there. Just straight up, that's an NFL ball right there from a guy in the middle of Morgantown. And I don't think many people are taking Penn State as serious going into the year because Penn State's always Penn State. They're good. But whenever it comes to Ohio State or Michigan, it ain't going to work. Now that there's no divisions, Penn State's kind of been left out of the conversation. Now they're top 10 still, obviously, because people have respect for them. But nobody's really chatting about Penn State in the Big Ten. What I seen, okay, and obviously they got the 2 running backs who've been there for somehow 30 years and still getting faster. I don't know how they've come onto the scene since freshmen and still only get better. But Drew Aller, dog, freight train, absolute beast, and a leader. And they stomped the West Virginia Mountaineers. And obviously the rain put the fire out in West Virginia. But the way Penn State played also it came a little drizzle of our happiness in this entire thing. Neil Brown said, we wouldn't have been able to beat a subpar team. Well, there's a reason that your team plays bad, and it's normally because of what's going on the other side. Their offense coordinator said, this is just like making a fucking blizzard. Yeah. Okay? We want to think it's confusing, but really it's just a couple basic ingredients. And it's like, with you add in Drew Aller, with what they have going on with returners, and they seemingly are big, all across the board. Number 1 rush defense in the country last year. Offensive line was able to give Drew a lot of time. I don't know if that's because West Virginia's not good. West Virginia's still going to win the Big 12.
Sure.
And their outside linebackers, we know our coach well.
Bingo. You can't spell victory without
Victor.
And that's the outside linebackers coach, Victor Cabral. He's got to figure it out, obviously, all the boys over the Blaine and everything. But I don't think Penn State was being talked about, and I don't think people are giving them much credit after beating this West Virginia team. But there's a chance this Penn State team is built to actually do some damage this year, and I'm almost pumped for our friends up in Happy Valley, even though, they are certainly a bunch that will tell us whenever they are very good.
Sure. There was a big tier conversation in the Big Ten this year before the season started, and it was Oregon, Ohio State are the cream of the crop. Now, Ohio State, they ended up blowing out Akron. It took them a little bit to get going. But
Jeff Moorhead's going to have a crew, right?
Yeah, of course they
are.
Oregon won by 10 into Idaho. That was kind of shocking there. And then that next tier was Penn State, Michigan, kind of this year, just because of basically everyone that Michigan lost. Michigan won by 20. They didn't look great. Penn State, of all of them, of all the Big Ten teams, now USC had an incredible victory. Okay, Iowa obviously put up 500 yards.
Thank you.
Penn State looked really, really good with new OC Andy Ketelanecki, who comes over from Kansas, who they turned that program around with that offense. So now that Penn State has actual explosive plays and that defense and that run game, Penn State's going to be a problem.
Aller looks like the real deal, though.
Yeah.
And I loved him chirping. I loved him chirping. Now, granted, it was against West Virginia, so I don't love that. But I like the fact that he's got that baby face. He's huge.
He's young.
Nobody was chatting about him from last year to this year, maybe taking a massive step. Feels like he did. Now, once again, we don't know about either of these teams, any of these teams.
You're right.
I had a lot of people telling me, about not picking every game right on College Game Day. It's like these coaches don't even know what the fuck their teams look like yet. Nope. That is the beautiful part of this particular time of year. Some of these teams are going to go on and have great success. One of these teams is going to go win a national championship. Is it the teams that we thought about in the beginning? Like what Georgia did to Clemson, obviously they should certainly be chatted about. Yeah. And Carson Beck is going to be great. They're going to have returners and everything they got going on. ETN didn't even play. Nope. We'll assume whenever he gets on the field, he's going to be absolutely bananas as well. But we're overreacting to everything because anything could happen with the start of this college football season. 9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler's here looking incredibly good. D-Butch, college football has held up for us here.
Oh, yeah.
Not that it hasn't in the past, but I think there's been a lot more interest, storyline, and primetime games here early that has really drawn everybody's football interest, and they've delivered all weekend, D-Butch.
Great start to the college football season. I know week 0 was a start, but week 1 was incredible. Talked about all these teams. UConn, tough start. I don't think we'll be going to the Big 12 anytime soon. But
you guys suck.
It was good to see Drew Allen, Penn State, and those explosive plays. That's what they were missing last year. So to see them come out the gate like that. But UConn aside, big time UM fan, and it's a great time to be a Hurricane fan, especially what's going on in Florida State. And the UF beat the shit out of the Gators in their home. But Cam Ward is an absolute dog. We got a quarterback and we got a team around him. So I'm excited about what UM has cooking this year. I think they can make a run this year, especially with their schedule. They should definitely be in the playoffs.
ACC, there is a lot of conversation around the ACC right now. Who's it going to be? Virginia Tech, we thought with 20 returning starters, wouldn't lay an egg early against Vandy, but Vandy with Pavia might be. With this new transfer portal, all you need is a couple guys in a couple places, and all of a sudden your team can flip around. Cam Ward getting dropped into Miami, awesome. Seems like the perfect moxie, swagger, playing style for Miami. He's flashy, but also he's like a veteran leader. It's like it's a perfect marriage. It feels like it's going to be. And we don't know what's going on in Florida, but boy, Napier feels like
guy can't open a water bottle. How the hell is he supposed to coach football?
They got him though, they got him. It was one of those whoopty-woos on the plastic thing.
Took a shot at his fan base after the game.
They were taking shots at him too. It is. They're in a bad spot down there, but let's talk about the good spots. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to debut something that I hope lasts. There's a good chance it doesn't with this particular program.
Sure.
Okay? We could potentially get sued at any moment for any of these things. We could potentially lose interest, or we could just forget that it exists. But it's here right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our top wide plays of week 1 of the college football season. Let's go to Bobby Moe, Wallay's school. Robert Morris taking on Utah State. Look at sophomore from Danville, PA, Robert Carter Jr. Going up and getting it with some good pizzazz. Utah State thought they had a deep shot. Kid out of Danville, Robert Carter Jr. says, wide. Give me that thing. Let's go to the number 2 wide play that we found this weekend. Wisconsin taking on Western Michigan. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Leap over the ref. Wide. Shout out to the ref here. No penalty was called. He just called his touchdown and went about his day. Reverse angle says, wide to the official, Naquan Washington, with the ups, and the ref, who I think had a great weekend, were fantastic. We just chatted about this earlier, 6'5", whatever the hell he is. Drew Aller dogging people, then talking his shit. This guy, Ohio guy, proved to me and all of West Virginia that last year isn't the same Drew Aller as this year, as he shoved Trotter down as one of our guys and said, right in his face immediately afterwards. James Franklin had a there's the whats in his face. Next play here from Ole Miss. Jackson Dart throws a 61-yard dime to Trey Harris. Jackson Dart's moxie is obviously through the roof. Another year in the system with Lane Kiffin. Really could have put 6 of these plays on from this particular game, because the big story of this is the fact that they played against Furman, right? But at some point, you're going to give up something. They win 76-0. Damn. Not even a point given up against the 5th stringers. Wade. Let's go to the next one here. USC, wide receiver, Kyron Hudson. Hey, one-handed grab in the middle of double coverage. What a throw from Miller. What a catch. Made the hole. Sin City say, wide. He had 5 catches for 83 yards. What a win for USC. A lot of people were wondering what the hell was going to happen without Caleb. Well, highlights galore. The stars are still out in Los Angeles, and Miller Moss might be an absolute guy. Let's go down to Miami. Obviously, D-Butch just talked about it. Transfer from Washington State. Had numerous plays, had a walk-off before getting hit out of bounds in the first quarter, and then one of these dimes across the back made everybody in Miami say, what? He went for 418 total yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and the entire world now believes that the U is back. I can't wait for some Michael Irvin shit talk. Let's go to a team that we found out over the offseason with T. Hill's freestyle to the defense. Here's Taylor Green of Arkansas. They're taking on Arkansas Pine Bluff. What? Wide. 250 combined yards on this one play, we shall say. He went for 317 total and 4 touchdowns as Arkansas beats the dog shit out of Arkansas Pine Bluff. This looked like an adult playing against kids, and we don't know what Arkansas is going to look like by the end of the year.
No.
Let's remember they're investing. They got good new coaches. They got maybe a whole new team. They might have big NIL money.
Whoa.
We have no. Pig Suey, I think is their call. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the word of the weekend. Let's go all the way back to Thursday. North Dakota State, Colorado. Travis Hunter says, word. Immediately after Shedeur Sanders says, just catch that shit in the huddle. I'm going to throw it, just catch that shit. Travis Hunter certainly did. 7 catches, 132 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a wide of a grab that made everybody say, how the hell did he do that? Now let's get to 2 wide players of the weekend. Couldn't pick just one play because they had so many. Let's go to Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty. Ran for 267 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Damn.
In a win over Georgia Southern. That's a Boise State school record. You go back in time, running back Ian
Johnson?
Oh, yeah.
Johnson was a dog whenever we brought the Smurf turf into reality. Now, Ashton Jeanty, 267 yards, 6 TDs. That is our wide player of the week. And also, out of Arizona, let's go to Tetaroa McMillan, the Irish Oos, ran wild. 10 receptions, 304 yards, 4 touchdowns in win over New Mexico. That's not the quarterback. That is a wide receiver. He had 10 receptions for 304 yards for 4 touchdowns. Somebody better fucking cover that guy. That was our wide players of the week and our wide plays of the weekend. Shout out to college football. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is senior NFL insider for ESPN, Michigan man, Adam Schefter.
Gentlemen, what's going on?
Oh, Schefter. Wow. A little rough around the edges, Schefter. You have a long night, maybe.
It was longer. Mine or yours, Pat?
Well,
who's got more?
Certainly mine in multiple conversations there. But the whole, are you growing a beard? Are you growing a beard right now or no?
No.
Oh, you just didn't shave today yet?
No, we got our fantasy draft Wednesday night. And I'm busy so preparing for that I don't have time to shave. I got to be ready for my fantasy football drafts Wednesday night.
Respect. How many days of growing is that right there for you?
2 or 3. They don't call me Teen Wolf at the for nothing there, Pat.
Oh, do you grow it up here too, or is that just kind of
Sometimes, yeah, around my eyes, forehead, everywhere. Yep.
Well, how's the mustache? Can we get a mustache, maybe a Scheftered mustache?
Please.
Goatee?
Oh, goatee maybe, but like for Movember.
Yeah.
You do a mustache for Movember. I mean, we could raise some real money.
That'd be fantastic.
And if you got a good one, they call you Teen Wolf. That thing's probably pretty thick up there.
You know what? If we could do that in November and we could raise money for a good cause, I would 100% do that.
Deal.
Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and we can't wait to see.
The mustache?
Oh my God, the chef dash.
Are you kidding me?
All right, let's dive into some news. Trent Williams, Ayuk obviously deal gets done, which clears the road seemingly for the Trent Williams to get done. It gets announced by his brother via a picture of a private flight back to San Francisco 49ers training. This is a big congrats to Trent. Congrats to the Niners. Was there ever a fear that this wasn't going to get done? They were just waiting on the Ayuk deal to see what they could possibly do? Or how did this end up coming together so quickly? And was this always the plan?
Well, it's still not done. They're working on finalizing it. And I think there are still a couple of things that they're trying to get through to get him out to practice today in time. It's not done yet, But his agency has announced that they're finalizing it. So if the agency announces it, we'll take them at their word that they could get this finalized by the time the Niners practice today. What's amazing is that, listen, I think that they always wanted to get him back. He had no more guaranteed money in the deal. So when they rework this deal, when they finish it off, it's going to include a lot more guaranteed money in this and next year. That's what's going to happen here when they get this finalized at some point in time. And so that'll be one thing. But then you have the other element is this is a team that has a game 7 days from now, 6 days from now. And they have not had Brandon Ayuk, Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey on the practice field all at once getting ready for a game. So today, if this deal does get done, if they can dot the I's and cross the T's, which are not done just yet, if they can get all that done, then they conceivably, as they begin their preparations for the Jets, could have Trent Williams at left tackle, Christian McCaffrey, who missed all training camp basically with a strained calf, and Brandon Ayuk, who missed camp with a Holden, all together all at once. And again, this is a team that feels like it needs all these guys back to be operating to try to pursue the goals that they have for the upcoming season. But they always wanted this guy back, and they always felt like they would be able to find a way to get it done. And they're close enough now that obviously the agency feels like it's going to get done because the agency doesn't announce that if the deal is not going to get done.
Yeah, because they look like assholes if it doesn't get done. So let's assume that thing is at the goal line and they're about to put it in. Congrats to all of them getting that done. And you know what else I find interesting is with all the conversation about the 49ers, being off the field pretty much this entire training camp, they're seemingly more together than ever as well. Kyle Shanahan hosted his end of training camp party. He had a cane, was in a throwback. Ayuk was there. Debo was there. The one person that wasn't there was Ricky Pearsall because he got shot earlier in the day, and I saw that kind of get reported by a local news person. Then sports media picked it up. Florio, I think everybody kind of got on board with it afterwards. I thought it was kind of fake whenever I read it. This is a very real situation. I think his mom came out and posted that the shot exited through his back but missed all his vital organs. We are very close here to a massive story here if Ricky dies in San Francisco. And what all do you know about this at this current time? And what do we need to know about the situation, Schefty?
Well, obviously, it's a story that he's very fortunate to be alive here because this is a real serious situation. He gets shot. The bullet goes through his chest and passes out through his back. Jeez. The Niners put him on NFI. He gets shot about 3:30 on Saturday afternoon. You mentioned that party. Kyle Shanahan has a party, an end of camp, get ready for the season party. That was at his house that night. It was called for 6 o'clock. So they get the news at 3:30 that their first-round draft pick has been shot. They're driving to the hospital, team officials. They don't know what they're going to encounter. Obviously, Ricky Pearsall was incredibly fortunate to get out of there with significant injury. He was fortunate to get out of there with his life, frankly. And they were able, once they found that he was okay, to have that party that was planned. They were going to cancel it. I mean, they were going to cancel, but when they felt like he was okay, the party went on.
Ricky would want us to
and he gets put on NFI. He's out the first 4 games, and he's going to have a chance to come back and play starting in week 5, which is unbelievable considering what he went through on Saturday. Again, really fortunate there.
Yeah, 3:30 in the afternoon, seemingly in a pretty popular area, getting shot in the chest. That is wild to think about. Let's all keep our heads on a swivel in this world that we live in. But hey, Ricky, Godspeed, brother. Godspeed, brother. That was a scary situation. And shout out to the Niners. I saw a lot of people saying Niners still had a party even though their first rounder got hit. It's like, obviously, there was some sort of messaging that came back and said, hey, going to be okay. Right. It goes through the chest, out the back, no vital organs. I didn't even know that was possible. Yeah, I had no idea that was even with everything that's here. Because remember, when you're a kid, when I was a kid at least, right hand, left chest, heart, right? Mm-hmm. I guess that heart is actually
more center mass.
It makes sense that it'd be right in the fucking middle. Mm-hmm. Why'd they always tell us it was off center?
A little offset to the left, I think.
Is it? Or does it run? Does it sit one way?
I thought it was like an inch to the left of the center.
I don't know. I'm thinking that thing's right.
It would make more sense for it to be right there, solo plex.
But we're happy he's okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In the middle of the chest, slightly to the left of the breastbone.
Oh, so it is left chest, though.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So that thing had to have gone through there.
Yeah. This side.
But the lungs.
Hey, happy you're okay, Ricky.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Chef, that's some scary shit. Let's talk about Haason Reddick. He's the only one that is still holding out, I guess. Has not been to the team's facility since the opening press conference whenever he got traded over there. Not sure he even knows what a meeting could look like as a New York Jet. How does this get resolved? Obviously, there's deadlines that drive decisions and everything like that. Season's very close. We're 2 days. Hey, Schefter, we're 2 days away from NFL kickoff. 2 days away. But anyways, what do you think is going to drive this decision, and how do we get a resolution to it?
Well, at some point, you'd have to think there is going to be a resolution. It just does not appear to be close at this time. I think right now, and these things could change with one phone call, but right now it would be a surprise if this deal gets done in time for him to play on Monday night. Obviously, it doesn't sound like he's going to be out there against the 49ers, who get back Trent Williams, presuming that deal gets finished off. But Haason Reddick, again, as we've talked about, they're engaged in this game of chicken, a standoff where the Jets say, we need you to report before we're going to do a deal. And he says, I'm not reporting till you give me a deal. Neither side has been willing to budge right now. And as long as that's the case, he continues to sit on the sideline, not playing. And again, I haven't gotten any sense that they've made much progress. I haven't gotten any sense that this is getting done anytime soon. The sense I've gotten is that this looks like it's going to drag on. And we'll see if both sides can figure out a way to avert that. But right now, it doesn't sound that way.
Okay, I'm excited to see how it all pans out, because I think that Jets team probably feels as if their defense is going to be very good. Then if Haason Reddick can come in and rush the passer on top of that, they figure it out. Let's go. Maybe get him in the building, too. He gets to experience what it's like here. Like, hey, you want to be.
You know, if you just think about all these situations over time, right? At some point in time, they almost all get solved. Like, how often does a guy sit out for an entire year? It's very, very rare. The two Chicago Bears did it. Al Harris and Gary Fensick in 1986, I believe it was, or whatever it was. It's very rare that Sean Gilbert sat out for a while.
Le'Veon Bell told us he needed 17 M's in his front yard, and I guess they never offered that. He held out that entire
Who was that?
year. Le'Veon Bell.
Oh, yeah. Le'Veon Bell. Another one. Well, that one went back and forth, too, and there were a couple of times where it felt like it could happen, and it didn't. It's just not very common. Now, this one today feels like it has the makings of that, right? But, again, they could bridge differences with one phone call and get him in.
Let's go to a different situation that's currently happening. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, Schefter, assuming people are getting very, very worried in Cincinnati as it is game week and Jamar Chase still doesn't have anything done and he's technically, I guess, a hold-in still. Is there anything coming up on game week against the Patriots for Jamar Chase?
Well, look, again, we are at go time. When we did this spot last week, we talked about the fact that there was going to be a renewed push, extra effort from all these teams and players at this point in time. We said that last Monday, I believe it was, and then a couple hours later, CeeDee Lamb gets done, Brandon Ayuk gets done later in the week, Trent Williams looks like it's on the way to getting done today, and we're waiting still on Haason Reddick, which again, doesn't feel like it's going to budge, and Jamar Chase. Now, this one is, I think it's tricky, and it's tricky because Ayuk and Lamb had 1 year remaining on their deals for teams that had been open about their desire to get deals done and to keep those guys. In this particular case, we got a receiver with 2 years left on his deal. Now, 2 years, look, they did Joe Burrow with 2 years left. And there have been other players like Devontae Smith that got done with 2 years left. But the Bengals have already said that they'd prefer to wait, even though they have been working on a deal. And I do believe they've made another push to try to get something done here. But they also know that Jamar is pretty dug in here. Now, do I think he's going to be willing to skip games? That's the question. We don't know how he feels because he hasn't spoken to the media. All we know is he hasn't gone through an actual football practice. Like, he went through the individual drills last week, but there's been no football practice, 11 on 11, all spring and all summer. Now, again, I think the Bengals behind closed doors are making another push to try to get something done. And I think that if we go back to last year, when did Joe Burrow's deal get done? The first game of the year kicked off Thursday night, Lions at Chiefs, 8:15 Eastern. 11 minutes later, 8:26, the Bengals and Joe Burrow reach agreement on a massive new deal that makes Burrow the highest paid quarterback in the game and still does. So that deal came 11 minutes into the opener. And I almost feel like we're on that type of trajectory where if he's going to play at all this week against New England, that deal has to get figured out in the next 48 hours. And even then, you might only be able to use him in certain situations like red zone spots, key third downs, whatever it may be. Maybe even dress them and you have them, but you don't even use them. Because the truth of the matter is they should be able to handle New England at home. The key thing here is that the Bengals play the Chiefs next week in week 2.
Yeah.
And that becomes, to me, a real leverage point for Jamar Chase. Because if somehow, some way, he's still not practicing and not playing in that game against that team, that impacts your ability in a game that could very well have seeding ramifications later in the season. So there's a lot riding on this. Both sides know it. Both sides are going to work to get it done, but it is a tricky deal to get done. My guess is somehow they figure it out. If it were me, I'm paying the guy. He's one of the best players in football. You're going to pay him. Just get it done now. Get him in the field. Get him in the lineup and move on. But that's not the way that this is proceeded.
Yeah, and you talk about the leverage of Jamar Chase having the Chiefs next week. He also has the leverage of the fine ain't nothing because his contract is so small. You know, it's like you miss a game check. Jamar's like, I'm okay with that. Yeah. Joe Burrow had a backless jacket on. That's worth more than one of my game checks at this exact moment. So hopefully they'll be able to get it sorted. If you miss the season, though, they can just roll over this year into next year. Like if this got real messy, it could get very messy, right?
The contract would toll if he didn't play this year. You know, again, this is an extreme. We're not saying this is going to happen. We're going over the various scenarios. If he doesn't play this year and the contract tolls, I guess if I'm Jamar Chase, I say, so what? Well, I'm getting a new deal before I step out on the football field, whether that's now or in the offseason. Doesn't matter.
Well, good luck to Jamar. Good luck to the Bengals. Good luck to Joey Burrow. Yeah. Because they're going to need that there. This is the first time. What news you got? Anything good? I saw you look down a couple times. Is that like, hey?
Yeah, well, it keeps buzzing. I'm 7 texts behind. It's okay. It's okay.
Anything good? Anything good? No, you should check it.
Well, you know what I love? You know what I love is that when I'm doing the show, I get people that text and comment on it. Like we were talking about growing the mustache in November for charity. I already have somebody texting me about a charity that they want us to donate the money to, which maybe we'll do some of that. I have my own charity in mind, of course, but somebody's like, hey, if I'm going to grow a mustache and sport a mustache and repel my wife any more than I already do, then at least I want it to go to a charity that I choose. But
no, you don't know. That might not be repellent, brother. That might be the right side of the magnet as opposed to the wrong side of the magnet. You don't know what you look like with that mustache. What if he comes? I just had an image of Super Mario. Don't need that. It was just on my TV yesterday. We don't need that, you know. But what if that thing is
Sam Elliott?
Yeah, shout out to DoorDash too, by the way, the greatest. If you get any breaking news, though, obviously you got to do your job. And if you want to tweet it, obviously first because that's what you get paid off of, and then we'll just cover it immediately afterwards. We completely understand for the rest of the season. Amen.
Hey, the only thing that would get me to stand down on your show right now would be if something happened with Jamar Chase. And so if the Bengals and Jamar Chase want to get something done as we speak,
that'd be great.
That we'll stand down and we could tweet it on live TV. That would be awesome, right? Like that would be fantastic.
That'd be some journalistic standard stuff.
Amen.
That'd be up there. You know what I mean? That would be the journalistic standard almost. That'd be crazy.
I'd have to report it. I'd have to report it as reported first on the Pat McAfee Show.
Well, that happens a lot. A lot of people don't report that that way. Yeah. But nonetheless, you do whatever you have to do. We're very thankful of your time. Speaking of time, there's going to be a time in a different country coming up to kick off this entire weekend on Friday night. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Schefter, we obviously know the NFL is very bullish and excited about global expansion, evidenced by this marquee game on Friday night between the Packers and the Eagles in Brazil. And while some of the players are very excited about the actual game itself, Darius Slay had this to say about actually playing in Brazil.
Trip. Week 1, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. But, man, I do not want to go to Brazil. And you want to know why? I'm here to tell you why. They already told us not to leave the hotel. They told us we can't do too much going on because the crime rate is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, NFL, why y'all want to send us somewhere with the crime rate this high and we out the country. So, the first thing people think is something terrible can possibly happen. I told my family, do not come down there because I'm not going to be nowhere to be found. Really, I'm going to be in a hotel chilling, minding my business, playing my game. after a long 9.5-hour flight. So I don't have no intentions on doing nothing. I'm going to eat hotel food. I'm doing everything. But they said, yeah, man, it's going to be pretty crazy down there. Police said they're going to be, try to be the best they could possibly be with the top flight security of the world, Craig. You know what I'm saying? So we hope for that, man. But I do.
Big Dom, baby.
Yeah, Big Dom, obviously. But, Schefter, with that being said, how did the NFL come to this decision? And ultimately, what kind of how worried are they about the potential threats that this game could pose?
Well, they do so much work on these games in advance, and I don't know that they pose any more threats than any other game in any other country. And the league is determined to grow the game internationally, to do whatever it takes, so much so that you're seeing them pull a game out of Philadelphia, a marquee matchup, and putting it in Brazil on Friday night of week 1. And it's a great matchup. It's a marquee game here that Brazil gets, and Philadelphia is deprived of. The Packers themselves, they're not thrilled about the idea of going to Brazil, but they don't have to go to Philadelphia, and they're playing on a neutral field, which I think is huge. But the league feels like there's these huge opportunities in these foreign countries. And look, I think there's just a ton of security that's in place. The Eagles are staying at the airport. It's not like they're going sightseeing in Brazil. It's a total business trip. That's what it is. And I think everybody knows they're taking extra precautions, being careful. And even today, I had Russell Okung, the former offensive lineman. He was all worked up about the fact that people would say anything negative about Brazil. He's like, this is the most beautiful country. It's awesome there. People are going to love it there. So there's that other side, too, that people aren't hearing about. But because it's essentially away from what normally happens, it's a break in the routine, people are wondering how it will be. You just never know. I'll tell you this. We used to do Monday Night Football games in Mexico City, and they always bring you to these cars, and they're extra careful with you, taking precautions. And I was walking out with the Monday Night Countdown team back to the parking area where there were a bunch of people that were taking us back to the hotel, supposedly. And all of a sudden, I'm standing there, and I get in a car. They're like, they go, hotel? I go, hotel. And I get in the car by myself with nobody around. And I'm about 3 minutes in, and I start having heart palpitations. I'm like, oh, my God. I just got into the wrong car. Like, these people could be taking me anywhere right now. Like, I started texting some of the ESPN people on site, Pat, right? Like, hey, am I in the right car? Did I get in the right place? Am I in the wrong spot? Did I get kidnapped? Like, I was...
But then
I'm telling you, I was scared.
But then you got delivered to the right spot, right? And you immediately thought to yourself, like, of course there's more good people than bad people. And it's like the same thing here with like when we went to Dublin and we went to Ireland. Like if you wanted to find negative headlines about a place, you could probably go and find
anywhere.
But what we found was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's the best.
Absolutely awesome. And it's the same thing, I think, with Paris and France. Whenever you talk about what the Olympics happen, it's like for these big events, I don't know if it's how it is normally. Okay, I don't care about any of that. But I do know that normally for these big events, like the country, everybody wants to show like the absolute best. Yeah, absolutely.
They want to put their best foot forward. They're great places to visit, all these things. But there's trouble in New York City. There's trouble in Connecticut. There's trouble in Indianapolis. You just got to be smart about it.
Nicest fans in the league, though. Let's make sure that came out. Indianapolis, nicest fans in the entire NFL. But it is
absolutely.
I do appreciate though that like Big Dom and them are telling them over there, like, hey, this ain't like you said. This isn't a sightseeing trip. Okay, we are going to be on the resort. We are staying on the resort here.
It's not even a resort. It's a hotel at the airport. It's not even a resort. It's just it's an airport hotel.
9.5 hours. Yikes. Brazil's got resort.
Yeah.
I mean, they got
plenty of them.
Staying at a Holiday Inn Express. All right,
okay,
very nice.
All right, come down here, get some muffins. We're shipping in some Philly cheesesteaks. You guys feel like you're at home.
They'll have the breakfast buffet all set up for everybody. It'll be great.
That's awesome. All right, let's go to Thursday night's game for anything we might potentially need. Go ahead, D-Butch.
Yeah, any updates? I guess injury-wise, Kansas City or Baltimore. I know Hollywood Brown is banged up. He'll be out. But any other injury news with that game coming up?
Well, the interesting thing is that I think Samaje Perine is going to be the backup running back here for Isaiah Pacheco, it sounds like, and he's going to get some work, Andy Reid said yesterday. So I think that's notable in light of the fact that they look like they're looking for another backup running back. But they also had a sense that Hollywood Brown would not be playing in this game, and it sounds like he's got a chance to be back in week 2, which is basically a similar timeline to what happened last year with Travis Kelce when he hurt his knee a couple of days before the game. People were wondering whether he would play. He didn't play that week, and then he came back in week 2. And I think that Hollywood Brown will have a chance to come back in week 2 when he's healthier And the interim, they're going to have to rely on some of these other guys.
That game is awesome to start the season with. I think we all agree with that. What is the expected numbers for these games? Because have you seen these college football numbers? College football numbers are like 150, 180% of what it had been in the past. Numbers are up for football. I assume for this it's going to be gigantic. Is there an expected number, or what do you think it is going to be?
Pat, I don't know what the number is, but I'm taking the over, okay? I'm taking the over because it's going to be over whatever anybody is expecting, because it always is, because it always seems to get more popular, because more people are betting on it, more people are playing fantasy football, more people are invested in it. There's more young girls who are into football because of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Like, there are just so many factors that drive up the popularity of the sport. Whatever they're expecting, I'd be surprised if it didn't beat last year's number. It'll beat last year's number probably pretty handsomely.
How about when at the beginning people were pissed about Taylor Swift being shown during games? And then, so stupid. But football people were very, very, very upset about it. And I assume there's still people that are upset about it. But I heard some stat, like 40% or 41% of the people that watch the Super Bowl were female. And then the percentage of like younger girls that were watching is like 800% what it's ever been in the past. It's like, hey, anything that grows our sport is good, because more of our sport around the world is good. You know, the lessons that are learned in football from discipline and leadership and working hard and diligency and American dreams coming true, like, our sport's good to grow into new places. And it's like, shout out to the Swiftie. Hey, shout out, because that's a real deal. And I have a daughter, obviously, who's 16 months, so she hasn't really got a chance to get into football. But if I was a football dad and my daughter got into it, which there was, thousands, if not millions of these stories being told on the internet last year. Like, me and my daughter spent more time together on a Sunday watching football than we ever have because of Taylor and Travis. It's like, that's awesome for the game and for everybody's life as a whole.
You have the growth of flag football right alongside it. Obviously, that would be in the Olympics, but it would be college scholarships with that. My daughter, who's in high school, she played as a freshman, played some flag football, so it is exciting to see the game grow, not only with the men, but obviously with the girls.
Let's go!
You know, I remember last year, late in the year, after it had come out that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are dating, I can't tell you how many Sunday night dinners where I get to put on football with my wife and daughter, and they're tuned in, they're riveted, they're watching, whereas before they weren't doing that. They didn't really care, and now they want to see Taylor in the box. They want to see what's going on there. So it absolutely has brought in additional viewers, a larger audience. The NFL knows that. They help cater to that. So I want to thank them for allowing me to put football on at my Sunday night dinner table occasion. It's very nice.
It's a Swift in the box. The whole thought of, like, you getting a chance to look incredibly cool, too. Like, at dinner, what a moment. Wait till you have that mustache.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Speaking of parents and setting their kids up, Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Schefter, right now it feels like Deion Sanders is kind of angling at Shedeur going to perhaps the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I'm not just throwing teams out here, but...
Yeah, well, no. But you're the second person to bring that. Mike Trout texted me about that this morning.
Boom.
Same thing.
How's Mike Trout good? Mike Trout good? Mike Trout good?
But go ahead. No, and I name drop just because it's the second time within an hour that somebody's brought up Shedeur Sanders.
We love Mike.
He's great thoughts.
One of the GOATs. But seriously, like, when you hear something like that from any parent in general, but especially like a NFL alumni legend like Deion Sanders, is that something that, you know, teams take note of very seriously? Because he didn't just say it about Shedeur. He also said with Travis Hunter too, like, hey, if these teams are up at the top and they want to take one of these guys, we're not just going anywhere. Like, we will do the Eli Manning, Archie Manning kind of move.
Hey, listen, Deion is incredibly sharp and savvy, and I would never say that he's wrong, but we don't even know where teams are drafting. There may be a team that's picking 1 or 2 or 3 that his son or Travis Hunter are okay going with, but there are any number of players that want to go certain places, and it is very difficult to execute it. I can't tell you how many times there's been a player who wanted to go somewhere that didn't get his wish. Yes, you're bringing up the Eli Manning example, but for every one of those, there are way more examples of guys that prefer to be elsewhere. Like, how about this past year? Like, you don't think Jaden Daniels would have liked to have been with his former college coach Antonio Pierce in Las Vegas, there was no way that he could help influence the process. And he wants to go into Washington where it seems like he loves it and everybody lives happily ever after. But there are a lot of players that want to go certain places. Unfortunately for players, that's not how the draft works. Now, there are occasionally situations where it comes together, where there's a quarterback draft class where the Chargers don't mind trading Eli Manning because they're getting back Phillip Rivers or whatever it may be. But it is very difficult for people to dictate that full year. Now, again, I know we're in a different year where you could say, okay, well, we're going to sit out the entire year and come back in the draft and we'll make NIL money and do ads, but you're not playing football for a year. You're building up some scar tissue for your reputation. You don't know what the draft order is going to be. And if there's a team you don't want to go to in 2025, there may be another team in 2026. You're going to sit again and just wait until the year and the team comes up that you want? It doesn't work like that. As much respect and as much love as I have for Deion.
That one kid's playing 9 years of college ball, so maybe
He scored. Scoring tuds.
And to be clear, Dak's deal is up. What's the future look like? Who knows? Are they angling for Shedeur to Dallas? And I'll tell you, sure.
I can tell you this. Dallas is not thinking like that at all. Dallas is thinking about winning a title and winning a division and going far in the playoffs. And in the offseason, they'll think like that. Like, who knows where they're going to be drafting the Cowboys? You have no idea. Like, Deion and Shedeur may want to play in Dallas, and that's admirable and that's great, but it's just not how the process works.
The Colts don't need a quarterback, obviously. We get AR for the next 10 years.
Sure.
But I'll tell you, whenever I heard people were saying, like, Shedeur's going to be the first quarterback off the board after last year, I was like, man, they didn't win any games. That's going to be a tough thing to sell. Yeah. And then I watched that game against North Dakota State, and I'm like, fucker could spin.
Yeah, he can spin.
Oh, my God.
Caleb Williams didn't win a lot last year. John Elway never won a lot in college. Like, there are guys that don't win a lot in college that go on and have pretty great NFL careers.
No, but also, like, him not leaving. I mean, there's even something to be said about him choosing not to leave whenever he could definitely have gone to a team that could be a national champion contender.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately, and him choosing not to do that. You could spin that and, like, dude's a dog and very loyal, obviously, not only to his dad, but to Colorado whenever he said he was going to come and play and do his thing. And then with how tough he is, he got sacked the most last year and got up every single time. And then he took some massive shots from North Dakota State. I get it. He took some massive shots, though. And it's almost like this one right here, bang, takes a shot. And then he rolls over on top of the guy and gets up, like push. He has a dog mentality.
For sure.
It is
He can play. He can play. That guy's really good. Really good.
Really good. All right, last question, because we know you have to go, especially potentially to shave and everything like that. Speaking of guys that are really good, and I think Shedeur even mentions this guy whenever he says, I need to go into this guy's mode. Brady mode is something that I think Shedeur thinks about whenever he's playing, and a lot of people admire. There's a lot of shit going on with him right now. Go ahead, D-Boy.
Yeah, I've been seeing some reports. Obviously, Tom Brady making his debut in the booth this year, but still trying to get that ownership approved with the Raiders. Any truth to him not being able to go to practice or production meetings if that ownership stake goes through?
Well, I think there are some people in the league that are like that, and they get very paranoid and proprietary about that. And you can understand, we went through this with the rules last week. I think, though, that Tom Brady probably would think that, hey, he doesn't need to go to practice to understand how a player is playing. And he doesn't need to sit through meetings to understand how a player is playing, that he can do this on his own without that. So, again, if there are some owners that want to impose rules like that prevent him from going to a practice, then he probably won't go to practice. Again, there are some people that'll be very careful about that. There are a lot of paranoid people in the league, but I think Tom Brady's going to go out and he's going to go out and try to do the best job he can. And I'm fired up to watch him on Sunday in Cleveland against the Cowboys. He's going to do a great job because he loves the game. He cares about it. He knows exactly what drives these guys, and he's going to bring a unique perspective. There aren't many people who have operated at his level of success who have gone on to have successful broadcasting careers. True. And in my mind, that's probably just yet another obstacle, another mountain that he's looking to challenge, and I think he's going to do a great job.
I think so, too. Troy, because the Cowboys obviously had their dynasty and everything like that, but the amount of work that Troy's had to put in for all these years when he could just be retired Hall of Fame, have his own beer, travel the world, do it all. The amount of work that Tom's going to put into this is just like admirable. But that's why it costs so much to get some of these guys to do their thing. Speaking of costing so much, you're on Good Morning. When were you on Good Morning America? Wait, what? I didn't know you're morning national news. I didn't know you're Good Morning America. Adam Schefter. I'm going to change my intro of you. Holy shit, Schefter. When was this?
Yeah, that was that was Friday. It seemed like,
wow,
they were having us on to talk about fathers and daughters with fantasy football, and it's a real treat to wake up your 16-year-old daughter to have to travel into New York City at like 4:30 in the morning. She actually, it was an interesting day because she does Slime Time on Nickelodeon. It's her 4th year of doing TV there.
Congrats.
So that was the day that we started out in New York City, came home. She had an interview set up with Mike McCarthy, the first coach that she's ever interviewed for Slime Time that's going to air on Slime Time. And he was awesome. He was really generous and kind with his time that day. They were having computer issues getting it set up.
Of course.
And literally, Mike McCarthy's staying there making suggestions for 30 minutes about, hey, let's try this. Let's try this.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a Yinzer. That's a Yinzer. That's a good guy, Big Mike.
It's the week before his opener. Like, I would have said,
oh, no.
the tech people, hey, let me know when it's back running. Let me know when it's running. I'll get back here. And Mike was doing that. But to get to go on Good Morning America with my daughter, that was awesome. Loved being with her there. And we had a great time there.
There's some real journalistic standard-looking question coming at you.
Yeah.
Right there. The lean, the head.
Yeah, that was Whit Johnson. Yeah, he was trying to get to the bottom of, who we were taking in our fancy football drafts and how we were operating. He wanted to make sure that I wasn't influencing my daughter's picks too much and did a great job interviewing us, and my daughter handled it very well.
Hell yeah. She almost turning 16, so what are we getting? Bentley? Ferrari?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are we, you know what I mean? His birthday.
Tesla. She'll be lucky if we get her big wheels.
Jeez. Was Whit Johnson asking about that? Jeez, Louise.
No, by the way, Dylan, she keeps asking, we get in the car. Can I put your car in drive? No, don't. Can I park? No. When are we going driving? Like, she gets her permit in October. I'm like, oh God, like, we just keep talking about this. Like any young kid who can't wait to get their driving permit.
Take her out to some land somewhere. Put her in a truck. So
Church parking lot.
Do what you got to do. Church parking lot. Get some gravel, too, so she can maybe work a little bit. Get the back end floating. We appreciate you joining us, Schefty. Football season's here. Let's enjoy the hell out of it.
Thank you for having me, guys. Enjoy week 1.
You're the man, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Schefter. All right, we have a conversation here now with somebody who is in a very important position in a group of journalists that do a lot of good.
A lot of good.
Amen.
All right? I think that's a good way to describe this.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Change lives.
I think it's the AP is obviously they do change lives.
They do.
The awards
Right.
and all this stuff. The AP is considered, the Associated Press, considered the class of the class. There is a man that we have gotten a chance to meet a few times who is for the NFL, who has introduced himself to us a few different times, talked to us a few different times, talked about the future of football a few different times, and we found him to be incredibly engaging, and charming, knowledgeable, and funny. He is not answering his phone right now.
Oh, no. Shoot. The worst possible thing that could happen today.
We don't like it.
We don't like that.
This is bombing me out big time. I've been waiting for this all day.
Ladies and gentlemen, senior NFL writer for the Associated Press, and I believe their leader over there at NFL AP, friend of the program now, Rob Motti. How you doing, brother?
What's up, fellas? How you doing?
Hey, fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us as we embark on another fantastic NFL season. The way I introed you there is you're a senior NFL writer and leader of the NFL AP. Is that an accurate description? And what all does that kind of come with?
I wouldn't say leader. I am the senior NFL writer. We have a lot of great leaders in our department and editors and all that along the way. But yes, I cover the NFL. I covered originally Philly sports, the Eagles, the Phillies, all those teams for 22 plus years. 3 years ago became the AP senior NFL writer. So it's a fun gig. It's a great job. And as I told my wife the other day on Sunday, I'm going to be busy for the next, I believe, 23 Sundays, guys. I think there's something that we got going on for 23 straight Sundays. We're not going to be available. But hey, guess what? I get paid for it. That's what I tell her. So
Amen.
I get paid for it. She can't complain.
Well, certainly can and should potentially for certain different times of the season, especially when there's a drought of good games for like 2-3 weeks in primetime spots, which is inevitable. It happens every season. We will be prepared for it. The AP gives out awards, right? That is a big part of the entire process. You change lives and careers and bank accounts with these awards. Can you tell me more about the AP awards and how they come together?
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, we start with the AP All-Pro rosters that we put out at the end of the season, right before the wildcard games come out on that Friday. And then, of course, the AP NFL awards, the MVP, the Coach of the Year, Assistant Coach of the Year, Offensive, Defensive Players of the Year, Offensive, Defensive Rookies of the Year. So as part of that, guys, we have 50 voters across the country, some former players, some former coaches, a lot of media who cover the NFL. And guys, if you're ready, I have a special announcement because I thought that you can't have a panel, and we've had a lot of turnover since I started this gig 2 years ago. We've had about 20 new voters come in, a lot of fresh blood, a lot of new perspective.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
So I thought a show that can get Bill Belichick to give up a Super Bowl ring with the San Francisco 49ers, because if he goes there, they may, as a defensive assistant or whatever, Kyle Shanahan was all, he probably, I thought the Pat McAfee show should be represented on the AP voter panel. And with that, your guy, Tone, is going to be a member of the AP's voter panel.
And there we go! AP Tone! AP Tone! AP Tone! AP Tone! Rob, we can't thank you enough for that honor. Congrats to you, Tone. And I'll tell you what, Rob, for all the people that don't know who Tone is, and he's wearing a Glenn Powell, if you could feel it, chase it, Twister shirt. Tone Digz is dialed in and studies it, and you're going to take this as an honor of a lifetime, right?
This is an honor of a lifetime, and this is the most serious thing that I will ever have to do in my life. Okay, I've been married, I have a daughter, but this is as serious as it gets. Okay.
Is there any rules we need to remember or live by?
Oh man,
anything we should think about?
Pat. I'm glad you mentioned that because Tone, you're receiving a letter. I want you to read through that letter thoroughly,
please,
because there are some restrictions, man. And I know you guys got to do a show every day, and you're going to talk about this, and you're going to talk who's voting for MVP and who's the leading contender and all that. That's great, but you cannot personally reveal any of your votes until NFL honors, until those are announced at NFL honors. It's a big deal. There's gambling involved, all this stuff. You can't do it.
Makes sense.
Got it. Has that happened in the past, I assume? That it definitely has happened in the past. Had to have happened.
Well, guys, there's been two instances, two former quarterbacks. Okay, first one last year, Tom Brady, the GOAT, was a first-year panel member, and I believe maybe 3 or 4 weeks left in the season. He's got Christian McCaffrey on his podcast, and Tom tells Christian he's going to vote for him for MVP.
Okay.
So he actually didn't. Yeah. He didn't vote for Christian for MVP.
He did not vote.
He did not. But and I got to reprimand the GOAT and say, hey, in his defense, he had not read through the entire invitation letter. Didn't know at the time. Only said he was leaning towards him. But that's one instance. The other one, far more egregious, guys.
Okay.
And I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need your help with this because he's a friend of your show.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. He's a terrific analyst. He's a former quarterback in the NFL.
Okay.
Dan Orlovsky, after sending me the ballot,
Not a friend.
takes a screenshot of the ballot and posts it on Twitter.
Come on, Dano!
Of course.
Come on, Dano!
I'm texting Dan, hey man, bro, you got to take that down. And Dan's like, yeah, no problem. But can I ask? He goes, can I ask why? I'm like, bro, did you read the email? Like I've been sending you for 2, 3, 4 months. So here's the deal. I'm going to need your help.
Okay.
A mistake of that proportion.
Yeah.
Do I replace Dan Orlovsky?
No, don't do it, Rob. Don't do it. Don't replace him. We love him. Think about it. All right, we got a hard out. We appreciate you. Rob Motti of the AP. We'll be back on the other side. Cheers.
Progressive jackpot field goal kick. Kicking is easy challenge is back, and obviously here week 1 had to bring in an absolute superstar, creator of tires. Some people think he's the actual President Donald Trump. Shane Gillis is here. Now Shane, we got Lucas Dollaboy here, who's a freshman high school soccer player. Have you ever said anything terrible about a kicker before?
Horrible. Like kicking is so easy. I can make this. I can make this. I could go out right now, make a 45-yard dude.
All right. What do you have to say to Lucas, maybe to get him jacked up or maybe some motivation?
I don't know. Lucas seems like arrogant. Like it's kind of. I'm really hoping you fail now. I was cheering for you. I was cheering for you, and then you're like, "I'll do this, no problem." Yeah.
Lucas!
Short.
Loser!
Go Irish! Go Irish!
Hey, Pat, I can save you from this if you don't want Lucas to do it again.
Let's get the ball back. Let's get the ball back.
You're going to do it?
Here we go.
Pat, you always tell me to save you. You tell me to save you. I'm offering right now a chance to save you.
Nah, this one will be for $50,000.
Okay.
That was the best ball you'll ever hit in your life, and that thing was nowhere close. This is for $50,000. And also Texas A&M.
Oh, no.
Open it.
I tried. How about this form, Nick? In a place that values tradition. Trying to spoil Mike Delco's debut. Oh, what do we got there, McAfee?
We got a cannon!
Hey, a little pro tip for you, McAfee. Don't stand in front of the camera or in front of the camera. It might get you.
Jeez Louise. That's smart. That's smart.
Well, I just want to say you guys keep talking about a $20 million roster.
Yeah.
If you don't pay the right guys, you'll be shit out of luck.
That's life, baby. That's life.
Congratulations. You just broke the internet.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this We're Here Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Football! It's the greatest, and college football week 1 just delivered in a massive way, all the way up to last night's Boston College upset over Florida State in Florida, which was a great game to watch because you always thought Florida State's going to turn it on, Florida State's going to turn it on, Florida State's going to turn it on, and then they never did because Castellanos and Bill O'Brien had the Boston College team buzzing. Are they a squad? That's what you got to ask after week 1 of college football. Who's going to stink? Who's going to be great? We have no idea, but that is why college football is awesome. And then on Thursday night, obviously the NFL season kicks off. It is a great time to be alive. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this for a living. Let's go to the talks table at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Big takeaway from week 1 of college football, Con Man?
For me, it would probably be Notre Dame's all the way back. And this actually might be a new era with Marcus Freeman, Riley Leonard. You brought up the transfer portal in the first hour. They're a team that obviously benefited greatly from it. But, I mean, that environment, 107,000 people, and then you watch Marcus Freeman leading the guys out, yelling at the offensive line, which was the big question for this team coming into the season. Like, I am very excited about Notre Dame, and I don't really have much skin in the game. I'll definitely be cheering on BC, but when college football is at its peak and Notre Dame is also very good with that, entire kind of national spotlight that they get
every week
versus everywhere else. Yeah, every single week. It does just make the game even better.
This is just like whenever the Cowboys are good, it's better because they're on national TV.
Bingo.
They're not even on national TV as much as Notre Dame is. Notre Dame is on national TV every single game. So whenever they're playing great late into the season, which it appears as if with the way their schedule's set up, but it's like they're good at the football.
Yes.
And I like the Freeman's culture and everything. And I picked Texas A&M, was planning on picking the Irish for the entire year because of how good Dublin was.
Sure.
And then literally as soon as I got down there, they got like 2,000 American flags around that stadium, the biggest American flag I've ever seen. They showed up ready. They had that midnight yell thing. I almost posted this. I was sleeping on a bus because I got in there so late from West Virginia. So I was sleeping on a bus near the stadium. Those fuckers were loud, loud for a long time. Like, I'm laying in this bus, and I'm like, I could just hear half of the stadium's filled up with them just learning about the shit we're going to do tomorrow. And then you got people walking, and then I got the chance to talk to the yell leaders after college game day. I think there's like 4 seniors, 2 juniors, and the way they kind of get selected and how they go about handling it and how bought in they all are. And they have shirts that say, we put the cult in culture. And it's like they get it. Like they're all the way in. It was like, all right, I'm picking this place, especially with what Coach Saban was saying about the environment and everything. So Elko, I think, has got a little time to, figure it out down there. I think he will. He comes back after being a defense coordinator there, then flipping Duke into what it became and then going back down there. I think he'll figure it out. But Notre Dame going in there, we were talking to President Shane Gillis.
Sure, of course.
Who's famous.
Yes, he is.
I don't know if you guys know, he is famous. If he was to walk through A-Town, any of them, in the entire globe right now, just with a flat bill on that's lifted and like spotlights potentially on his face, every human would fucking recognize him.
Yeah, sure.
That is a matter of fact from social research and experiencing it. He is maybe top guy right now. Like, truly. Maybe top guy.
Oh, yeah.
And still just wants to eat a quesadilla, dude. Okay. Just wants to eat a quesadilla.
Hasn't changed him.
At all. Completely loves Notre Dame football. Talking to him the night before that game and the way he was laying it out, he was like Notre Dame could lose this game. I mean, that's like a Notre Dame move to lose this game. But if we always lose this game, we always lose this game. And then his dad came and said, I don't know why Shane keeps saying that. His dad, who's a massive Notre Dame fan as well, and I think his dad played for Notre Dame. I forget how it all kind of lines up. But then Shane talked about if they win this game, though, it's like, because you look at their schedule now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they're on national TV, and that's a big-time SEC win on the road at night. It's like, that's a massive game for them. So congrats to the Irish, legitimately.
Yeah, truly.
Legitimately. Coach Corso coming out with that little
that was sick.
I don't say little, that's a little leprechaun. A little rude.
A little
He was
smaller mascot.
kind of undersized or whatever.
Standard leprechaun.
That was a cool moment, man. It was cool to be down there. That Texas A&M fan showed up. 110% humidity. Johnny Manziel, awesome to see him. He's got a podcast that's coming out. Von Miller stopped by. Dylan Gossett, who I believe is like a next country musician, he played throughout the entire break. So it was like a little country concert through the break.
Sweet. Pipes on it.
Yeah, can really sing it. And then we came back with like a minute left before that. The cannon thing, wild, obviously. Wow.
Yeah.
Glad
I was going to say, I almost got assassinated on live TV.
Yeah, that was nuts.
See, that tree above us there was kind of the issue because old buddy, the cadet next to me in rehearsals during commercial break where they were teaching me the stance. We're going here, and then we're going to here, and then we're going to here, and then fire and hole. That one right there. Oh, so we're doing the process in the walkthroughs, the movement from tip of sword at boot to arm down to straight up in the air, hit that tree. You see that tree we're standing right next to? And then he lifted his hand up because I got to do my job. And he almost like sliced off and his hand like hit the thing and then he couldn't do that. So he moved just a little bit to give a little airspace. In person when I was staring at Cannon, I didn't think it was that close. Watching it back, I was standing way too close.
You're pretty close. Yeah.
I was standing way too close to that cannon. And
where does the cannonball go?
So
it
right
went
into
through an
people.
old lady's chest, actually. It just kept going.
Right there, there's people. That cameraman Eddie was on the case here.
Yep.
He was Did you see the photos of him dying?
Oh, yeah.
Where he just absolutely laughing his ass off.
He's a dog.
Well, he is a dog. Eddie is an absolute dog. You could feel his energy literally through the lens whenever he's working. But yeah, I agree with a lot of the people that were saying like a little bit too close to the cannon. Because when I was standing there, it didn't feel like I was eye to eye with that muzzle. You know, that thing was certainly off shoulder. But then I didn't even think about like, what if that fucker does just lift up and turn just a little bit? Because the amount of power it has. Cannons have been, they're not like the most.
That's sturdy.
I don't think we use them anymore.
It cuts you in half.
That guy also had
happened.
very soundproof headphones on, by the way.
Yeah, everybody was kind of wearing it around me.
Yeah, big
I'm
old
not doing that because
earphone.
I'm not doing what Tony Stewart did to me last week, where I'm wearing a big thing. Nobody else is.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I'm not doing that.
He did.
I'm not doing that. A lot of people told me I was going to blow out this eardrum. Sorry, it already is.
So
no cannon's
there you
going to be
go.
able to do anything. Shout out to Texas A&M, though. I enjoyed the vibe down there and how cool everybody was. I could see how that town, whenever they're rolling, like Johnny Manziel time,
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't even imagine.
the setup of like campus to where like everything
Northgate is their bars area, but everything is like dorms are right next to it. Like everything is on very walkable.
great property.
Great, yeah, it's a good layout of
I
everything.
would say I've always heard it's a huge campus.
I don't know. I walk from stadium to.
But yeah, it sounds like you're saying it's
Everything's very gettable.
Half mile, probably.
Yeah,
right?
but yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
like
country mile?
It's definitely large. Yeah,
lot of
probably more of a
range.
country mile. That's a good point. But everything is like very close. It's perfect, actually.
It was a great town. We appreciate it. And then Morgantown was obviously awesome.
Yeah.
Also, why are you dancing during the breaks when one of the greatest songs of
Yeah.
all time is played?
Listen, DJ Griff, every once in a while, he'll just look at me, it appears like, and he's like, gonna put a little soul in those bones over there.
Trying to
It
get
is time. If you turn on Lil Jon Snap Your Fingers any time in my life, let alone 9 a.m. local or 10 a.m. local in the middle of a commercial break while I'm trying to, go through what's the next thing, that's gonna come out. I went to college 2005 through 2009. I mean, Lil Jon.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about that's an immediate snap of the fingers. Now, Coach Saban didn't appear to have the similar reaction to the song that I did. People were saying he was side-eyeing me. I saw a lot of people saying he was going to quit. Well, boy, I saw a lot of internet comedians really took advantage of this particular video. Boy, I read about me for a long time. People have described me as a lot of different things in this particular video. I want to let you know it's an honor. Okay, it's an absolute honor. I think calling me the drunk frat boy, I can understand, because I am a white and I do appear to look as I was never in a fraternity. Okay, I was never in a fraternity. Was drunk in Dublin though. That is the whole thing. So I guess calling me a frat boy is certainly something that is easy to do. That's cool there. And also, I don't mess with the snow, brother. Okay, a lot of people saying I'm all over I'm basically winter wonderland is what a lot of people are saying on the internet. That ain't. Take it easy. Yeah. Okay, take it easy. We go with the trees, not with the snow. There's two different goes there. Everything else, I respect and appreciate how talented people are on the internet. Boy, there was some fucking hilarious. I didn't expect it to go the way that it went.
Yeah,
It went.
Boy,
Yes, it did.
it started dipping into every genre.
Oh, yeah.
I started getting religious people tweeting about it. This is the youth pastor, and this is the
Yeah,
I was getting into all of it. Yeah, I started reading. I was like, whoa, okay.
I mean, that was some important context missing, though. Lil Jon on the ones and twos, I mean,
Yeah, commercial break.
that's important.
Yeah.
Also, last week when we were in Dublin, I saw Coach Saban playing some air guitar
Yeah, he
during
was.
one of
He
the
was.
breaks.
Rolling Stones.
Yeah, and if people saw that, I can't imagine what they would think of him.
Yeah, well, he's not professional if he does that. I saw a lot of that I'm not professional. And I'm like, for a lot of things, but dancing during a commercial break with Lil Jon on, what am I supposed
That's
to
fine.
What am I supposed to do there? And for those that, nobody that doesn't know me would be watching this right now anyway, so it doesn't matter. I will fucking dance to Lil Jon.
You've been doing that since the beginning of time.
I will fucking.
I ain't gonna dance.
I want to let you know.
Yeah.
You know that song? I hope you dance.
Oh, yeah.
That whole song?
Banger.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I am dancing, and especially with Lil Jon. There's a couple that as soon as they come on, it's like gotta do it. If Yin Yang Twins would have came on immediately after, you could have got me for a good 10 minutes. I don't know if Nick Saban would have caught on with the Yin Yang Twins or not, but that era of crunk, every time with these particular ears in this particular body, I had a blast. There's a lot of people also talking about how cool it is that we're both on the same show.
It's awesome.
Which is certainly something.
incredible.
Saban will be joining us Friday live in Michigan. Now he is being forced to do it. They are putting his hands behind his back.
Sure.
Like those people in Turkey were doing to her.
Wow.
Oh,
Did you see that?
yeah.
What is that all about?
Sorry, what?
Never mind. Anyways, but people are saying that Saban's being forced to come on the show on Friday. We'll see if he has anything to say about what happened during the commercial break.
We will.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, live from an attic in Ohio. What the hell is going on in Turkey, by the way? I did not know.
No.
I did not know that. I mean, what? We were actually looking at Airbnbs, I think, in that country because of something we were watching earlier. Looks like there's some beautiful places.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's his name was writing his book over there.
Bingo. I don't know. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man from Ohio who had to watch the Ohio State Buckeyes play and go, yup, this is the year. $20 million, well worth it. Former president of Ohio, the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. Ladies and gentlemen, A.J. Hawk.
Yeah.
Oh, you look good. We haven't seen you in a few days.
Feels like forever, man. Feels like this long Labor Day weekend. I hope you guys had a good one. But, yeah, it feels like I've been off the show for a month.
Yeah, well, it's great to see you back. And I want to let you know, it was 100% humidity in West Virginia, and it doubled down in Texas the next day. My body is still going through it, recovering from it all. But college week 1 football kickoff was awesome. What did you see from Ohio State? You pumped? Do you think they're going to go this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think you may recall I texted you shortly, maybe even during the game, I think, about, first off, I was impressed by Will Howard. People, they kind of stumbled out of the gates, I think, in their first, they stalled out in their first drive, and then a couple incompletions, then bam, they got rolling. But Will Howard's a big dude that can run, and he can absolutely sling it all over the field. But I was juiced about their defense, man. I don't care how many yards they give up. I don't care anything. I love how they finished. They were finishing dudes, every single play. I heard Schlegel was on with General Bob this morning. He talked about, violence. That's their standard on defense is just violence all the time, I feel like.
Yeah, and I don't want to say you said this, but you've certainly said it in the past, and you were alluding to it. Whenever we were watching Texas-Oklahoma at the Cotton Bowl, during the first commercial break, you said, hey, Oklahoma's alphaing Texas right now on the defensive side. They're getting up on the dude, they're pushing themselves up off the guys. They are the aggressor. They are the ones who are in charge almost out there. You were saying the same thing about Ohio State. It felt like against Akron. Now, it's obviously not just like you're a better football player. It's a mindset almost. Hey, we're here all day.
That's just how they do it. Yeah, hey, this is what we do. And it does. It wears on teams. Both ways. If an offense is like that and they're just doing all the little extra things, playing through the whistle, all that stuff, using you to get up, pushing off you to get up, just the little things that absolutely wears on a team. It no question will wear on you in the second half. It'll pay benefits, I think.
I think so. I'm pumped to see Ohio's back, That Big Ten's going to be good, though.
It's tough.
Hey, Penn State, you see that boys are good. And I
really good.
I got a whole promo about forgetting that Aller's an Ohio dude. I completely forgot about that. I didn't even.
Medina, the dude's absolutely. I think he was player of the year in Ohio. Yeah.
I don't know how you let him out of Ohio State, first of all, but I appreciate the fact that he decided to go to Penn State because I assume there was a lot of people in his close circle that weren't necessarily thrilled with that whenever he made that decision. But there wasn't a single conversation anywhere other than Happy Valley about his development from last year to this year. The conversation was they can't stretch it out. They can run it. They can't stretch it out. It's like he threw darts.
Yeah.
And then they had a 2-hour delay, which, that's not a easy thing for any active. And he came back even better on the other side of the 2-hour delay when they were stuck in the visitor locker room. Penn State's big, fast, strong, and the quarterback is all of those things, and he talks shit. So it's I feel like Penn State might be a little bit different this year as well, AJ.
Mm-hmm. They feel great. I mean, this throw right here, you knew they're in for something good when you saw that throw right there. They seem so confident. Yeah, top to bottom, I mean, Penn State looks really good. Let's see when they face all of the big boys. But hey, it's a great week 1 test, though.
Yeah, that's true.
West Virginia is absolutely. It's a week 1 test. It's not a cupcake by any means, but hey. Penn State went in there and they handled their business.
I think the team, West Virginia, we'll see how they go about winning the Big 12. They're going to have to figure that out.
Sure.
There's a lot of things they're going to have to figure out.
It's going to be a hell of a story.
Derek Green ran for 0 yards. All I've been saying is he's running wild. Okay? Ain't going to run him.
Take care of the damn ball.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things. The 4th and 1, we see that they got 700 pounds right in the middle. Yeah. There's no reason. We could probably take that elsewhere. Yeah. They're so big. Every position's bigger than the other side. I mean, as soon as you turn on the screen, it's okay, match up. They're all bigger. Okay? West Virginia's not worried about that.
No.
We're not always going to win off the bus. That's not how it's going to go. But then you watch the way they were going about working, and then after that 2-hour delay, I thought, okay, we're in a good spot. This might have fucking slowed them down a little bit. Mm-hmm. Complete opposite. Their team got better. Our team got worse. And it's like, that can't be how it is. If you're undersized to the other team and there's like an equalizer that takes place, like a 2-hour delay where you're locked in a room, like you can't be the one that plays worse when the other team plays. Like the bigger, stronger, faster team should feel a little bit more effects than the other team is trying to keep up. Like that game should have, I thought, got closer after 2-hour delay. I was very excited to like watch it. I'm like, okay, that was it. And I'm going to act like it didn't happen. When West Virginia comes back and wins this, I'm not even going to mention this 2-hour delay. No chance am I going to talk about it. And then all of a sudden I'm watching, I'm like, what? Turns out their team,
Wait a minute.
their team got better. And I think James Franklin's, they watched the whole first half, obviously.
They did.
So they had enough time to adjust everything, not just a little bit. They had enough time to adjust, which hopefully we did as well.
Well, there was a lot of loud noises from the Thunder.
Yeah, a lot of noise. Got some noise in here.
All right.
So,
okay.
How concerned are you? Like, right after this ass beating, head coach goes and shaves off his whole.
Don't love
that.
that.
I mean,
There's a
that's
whole
the
lot of
world
talk
move,
about
that.
Goatee, and then you get your ass beaten. You know what?
Well, he said no more fun and games. Everybody's ha about the game.
What's fun and games about a goatee? That is the most, no fun and games. Facial hair of all time.
Amen.
Yeah, but he
looks like
he looks like a different human.
Yes.
A completely different human.
his wife 1,000% made him do that. He walked in, tail between his legs when he got home on Saturday night. She said, not only do you look like a fucking asshole, you got your ass beat. Shave that goddamn goatee right now. I said, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And he went in the bathroom, shaved his goatee, and now he's back at it. Week 2. Let's figure some things out. Let's get it right.
Trust the climb.
Yeah, exactly.
Trust the climb.
We got nothing but time, boys.
Trust the climb.
Yep.
Hey, West Virginia, let's go.
Good luck.
Let's go.
Good luck.
Still win the Big 12.
Still win the Big 12.
It's wide open.
Just like Virginia Tech, it's still win the ACC.
Bingo.
Okay, it's going to be tough with Boston College playing the way they're playing.
Yeah, amen.
Sure.
And with Georgia Tech playing the way they're playing. And Clemson, everybody wants to rule them out, because they got a lot of white guys playing. And then also they lose to Georgia. Georgia by a ton. But that ACC, wide ass open.
It was only 6-0 at half, and then Georgia just really just.
Let's talk. Yeah, the U is. They might be. They are the team in there. But let's talk about that Virginia Tech team.
Yeah.
Because I know.
Yeah, I got all that shit.
Yeah. Well, not you. Me too.
Yeah.
Because they could still win the ACC. And this could be a wake up call. But them losing to Vandy, I think, was a surprise to everybody.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a 11 a.m. local kickoff at Vandy, and you talk about sometimes you got to bring your own juice.
Mm-hmm.
There was not a lot of juice in that stadium. I'm not making excuses. Okay, I'm really not.
Pavia is the dog.
But yeah, Diego, who. He comes over with his OC from New Mexico or New Mexico State from last year, where he was awesome and he clicked right away. Did not expect that to happen, but yeah, they laid an egg, got it to overtime. I thought Virginia Tech was going to be fine. Yeah. Overtime, Drones got hurt, so the backup quarterback was in for overtime for VT, and they couldn't score. But yeah, that was an awesome early season game, and hats off to Vandy. Pavia played unbelievable.
Yeah, through the sky, on the ground. Yeah. Pavia was talking his shit, doing his thing, and it's like Vanderbilt gets a dub. And I don't know what the records were for each conference. I know the Big Ten probably feels pretty good about how everything went. 17-1 opening week 1. SEC getting a big win here by Vandy. I don't think anybody.
Their win total was 2.5 for the year. So they're going over now.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the faces and voices of college football for the last 30 years. Ladies and gentlemen, Kirk Herbstreit. Herbie, we're talking right now about that Virginia Tech loss to Vandy, which you kind of prophetically talked about during College Game Day. You, whenever the whole thing I forget what the conversation was, got to you, and you go, look out for Vandy in Virginia Tech. 11 a.m. local kick. Gonna have to bring your own juice, yada, yada, yada. This seems like a potential. Now, I think you thought Virginia Tech was going to be able to get it done. They bring it all the way back, get to overtime, quarterback gets hurt. But it's like, should we be looking into Vandy a little bit more, or should we be wondering about Virginia Tech? And how about some of these other teams? Miami, Boston College, Georgia Tech. How much should we be, after 1 week of football here, vesting our interests as opposed to overreacting or underreacting?
I've learned over the years, who knows what the right answer is. I feel like over the years, I give it 2 or 3 weeks to try to get a really good vibe on who these teams are. I think what Vandy did, first of all, they have a quarterback. When was the last time Vandy had a quarterback with some swagger like that? That kid is a player. I mean, unbelievable making plays. And his story is fascinating, too, because he's a bit undersized, so he wasn't heavily recruited. And Jerry Kill brings him over from New Mexico State. I mean, that to me was pretty cool to see that. But Vandy looked different, didn't they? I mean, they looked athletic. They were flying around. Clark Lee, a lot of people don't know Clark Lee, and he was a defensive coordinator at Notre Dame and did a great job. He actually played at Vandy, got the opportunity to leave Notre Dame to go back to Vandy, and he's kind of slowly but surely building that brand back up. And it's so tough to do, as we all know, in the SEC. So that was a fun one. But man, there's so much. USC, are you kidding me with Miller Moss and what he did against LSU? I thought Nussmeier looked great. I thought the defense from both those teams played much, much better. I think Cam Ward was probably one of the biggest stories of the entire weekend. Miami hasn't had a quarterback, in my opinion, that was an alpha like this since Ken Dorsey back in the era of A.J. Hawk, going way back to like 2002, 2003. So you're talking over 20 years since they've had a quarterback that takes control. We're going to find a way to win this. And they're physical, on both sides of the ball, just beat up the Gators in the swamp. So that kind of gets you really excited about what Miami's doing. Penn State, I know, I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I just sang their praises.
Yeah, I mean, you guys did a great job, and I was just sitting there. Half of the set was like all in on it. Okay.
They sang Country Road, take me home. In a pick segment for another school. Yeah. Shout out to Texas A&M, man.
It was amazing. Awesome. It was amazing. Good job over there. That was awesome. To give me Penn State, line of scrimmage, Drew Allard.
Yes, you did.
I think me, Johnny, and Corso all went Penn State. But boy, they look good, man. They got the ball down.
Oh yeah. I hope it's all.
Looks more comfortable. They got some receivers that can get downfield. That was exciting to see, truly. Who else stood out? Who else did you throw out there?
Boston College, Castellanos last night. I think what Billy O's doing, I don't think any of us really understood what was possible for them. I think they're pitching the idea that, hey, Boston College could be a team, especially up there in New England. A team that BC's loved up there, beloved up there.
Yeah, people love BC, and it's really the only college football team in the New England region that's big time D1 like this.
You guys love winners up there too.
Yeah, exactly. And with the Patriots looking like what they're going to be, if BC goes, the city and the state and the region, New England, will get behind Boston College. Like when Matt Ryan, that was the last time Boston College was really, really good. Those games were packed to the brim. People loved the Eagles, and since then it hasn't really been the same. But yeah, if Billy O and Castellanos go, there's a chance that the BC Eagles are the hottest football ticket in town. Legit.
But it's they look different. There's a lot of teams that just look different. And I think this is that transfer portal thing. Now Drew Aller, obviously different story, but in some position it's teams can really flip. I think a couple big decisions. Now, is it sustainable?
How about the reminder of Georgia?
Yes. Yeah.
Holy cow. I mean, and you guys can kick Dabo right now, and I'm not saying you guys, but the nation can have fun with him. He doesn't do NIL. Bottom line, they still have a defense. I mean, they still have NFL players at the line of scrimmage on the defensive side. They have Barrett Carter. They're a pretty good team. I mean, I think when the dust settles at the end of the year, I think we'll see that Clemson's a pretty good football team, but Georgia just pounded them.
Yeah.
And they got the quarterback and Carson Beck. They just reload with the skill spots. Hit the portal a little bit at receiver. Defense is just nasty. I mean, I've because Georgia played somebody, I feel like we're back to, okay, there's Georgia, and we're going to find out who else wants to be invited to play up there with Georgia after 1 week. So a long way to go. Bama, Kalen DeBoer, I know they didn't play anybody. We'll find out a little bit more against USF. But just the operation of it, the execution, I feel like they looked really good. So we had 5 or 6 behemoth college football games, and then we had a lot of other games that, kind of went the way you expected them to go. So I always reserve judgment. I like to get to that 3rd or 4th week, and then you really get the conference play. I think you have a much better idea what's going on.
Happy we got to do picks. That's a lot of fun. Yeah. We have no idea what the hell's going out on the field. I like that Nick Saban addressed that beforehand. I'm shooting in the blind here. All right? I don't know any of this. And I'm appreciative of the fans that get pissed off at us for not picking their team in week 1. But it's I'm also appreciative of the fact that some of these teams that I didn't think have it. This is going to be an incredible year. Speaking of one of those, AJ has a question for you, Herbie.
Yeah, Kirk, what did you learn from Ohio State? Obviously beating Akron, 52-6, something like that, I believe. Jeremiah Smith, a young freshman receiver, obviously, I think, as advertised, he's unbelievable. But I think Will Howard, I was impressed by his arm and how he can move around once he's kind of settled into the game. But did we learn anything about this team? I came away very excited about the defense, Kirk. No joke.
That's what I was going to ask AJ. That's what I was going to ask you.
Turnovers. That's all I cared about was how they were. I Like, I think Caleb Downs missed a tackle early. I'm like, I don't care, man. He had the right leverage. He was taking his shot. I just like how they're flying around. I think that's kind of what it's going to be this year. So, like, what did you learn?
That's exactly what I took away. And I think there's, just because I've seen Will Howard play a lot of football, I think Ohio State fans are going to be surprised because he's so big. They didn't realize he could move. He could be part of the run game. You get to a 3rd and 3, you can insert him in there and make the defense have to count for another gap, which I don't think people realize with a Chip Kelly offense. That's going to be a factor. They're going to be physical. The offensive line is going to need time to kind of grow together. Jeremiah Smith is holy cow good. I mean, I can't wait to see what he's going to do with Emeka and the rest of the group that they have there. The other thing that I think stood out, regardless of who they played, and you're really not going to know until they take their trip out to Eugene, is the defense. Like you said, that defensive line, AJ, is so good. The linebackers, there's so much experience there. Caleb Downs is really the one guy that they brought in. Everybody talks about how we talked about this last week, how they spent all this money on the portal. They didn't spend a lot of money other than on Caleb Downs on that defense, other than to keep guys there, but they didn't go out and get guys. So these guys know this system. They know it very, very well now that they've been around it a little bit. Jim Knowles loves to get creative. So you got a veteran defense. So what most of the attention is going to go on Will Howard and what's going on with Chip Kelly and all the offense. To me, Ohio State is going to be a tough out because of what they're going to be doing on that side of the football.
Hey, who you got there?
Nose, baby.
This is my puppy, Peter.
What up, Pete?
Pete.
What up, Pete?
Yeah.
Pete.
After Fanimal?
Yeah, named after Fanimal, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. And then, hold on. Who's that? Who just came into the
that's Theo. That's Theo over there.
Ben a little bummed out after a long weekend. He's back home. No, he's good.
No, dude, he had a blast.
It was great seeing him. Hey, I want to let you know, it was great seeing him, especially with the offseason he's had. It was great to get his aura back around.
Hey.
Don't listen to people that don't like dogs.
Hey, there's 2 idiots and there's thousands of people.
Exactly.
That love they
you,
like Ben more than anybody, and you just had a little fun with a couple of the clowns that said it. But Ben was sprawled out in the booth. And of course, you're working with Reese Davis, and Reese I'm not lying, Reese is like moving himself out of the way as Ben's like stretched out. And I'm like, what are you doing? Pretty funny to see how polite Reese was. I had a lot of fun, by the way. Love working with Fowler on games, but I was able to work with Reese in Vegas with the LSU USC game, work with him again because Chris is doing US Open. So Reese is awesome, as you know. I mean, it's a lot of fun calling games with him.
Yeah, Reese is a legend, and I got a chance last year to meet some people from his hometown. Here is Ben in the booth with Reese.
Look at Reese.
Mike Black there to the left of Reese. And then you got D there to the right of Herbie. D. I believe Jake Herbstreit's in there somewhere. And then Big Ben's holding center court, as he should. What an absolute. Is that Wiley far right? Who's that far right?
That's Tony. He's a weapon to the right of Darren. Serious weapon. If you want a spot shout on, he's a spotter that I got introduced to. He's been working in the Monday Night Football booth for a number of years, going back to when John Gruden was in there. He works with Troy on Monday night. I have him on Thursday with Amazon, and then also he works with me now on Saturday night. So Darren and he both are in there. Both do a great job. Appreciative of them both. And man, there's been taking the spot there of Reese.
As he should. Reese understands. Yeah. Reese gets it. Reese is a good dude. Yeah. Reese is a phenomenal dude. And I think the fact that Ben is on the road is one of the coolest things of all time. I'm actually, and I know this is, you know this, I'm looking into a companion dog for the traveling, because with the way Ben operates on the road is so cool. Just kind of hanging out. I don't know how hard it is to get a dog to act like that. I assume a lot of work is done by you and by Ben to get to that point. But I've never seen an entire room's mood flip faster than when Ben walks in there. So
it's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Legit.
I will tell you this, just from having dogs, that was the open of the show there. He just kind of decided to walk into the booth. It's amazing to have the key if you're going to go get a dog because you got a baby at home. The dog is a key. You got to spend a ton of time with them. And if you spend a ton of time with them, you end up getting a dog. And like I never have been on a leash. I never have any of my dogs on a leash. So when I take them for a walk, they're just free. And then they just kind of stick around together. So like we're on the field pregame at Texas A&M, and Ben's not on a leash. He's just kind of walking around, saying hi to coaches, teams, players in uniform are warming up, and he's just kind of hanging around, you know. But a lot of it's going to be how much you hang out with them around the house.
Yeah, Ben's awesome. And Reveille X,
He's chill.
Reveille 10 is the first lady of Aggieland, is the dog.
Oh.
I heard she was hot to trot.
Look out.
Like I saw a
Heard
video.
she was hot to trot. That tail was wagging. Ben comes around. You know,
sense.
it was cool. I really enjoyed Ben. So whenever I saw that there was people that didn't, I'm like, what the fuck? I know people hate me for different reasons.
A lot of assholes.
You can't
out
hate
there.
Ben.
Just fools.
You can hate Kirk for whatever reason you want.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Kirk-
If you hate Ben, you really need to look in the mirror.
That's what I think.
That's a hard thing to do.
I didn't even know that existed. That had to be fake accounts out there.
Probably.
All right, let's move along here, talk college ball. And it's great to see Ben, who had a battle this offseason. Ben had a battle
He
this
did. Yeah, leukemia, is on chemo, had surgery, big surgery. They took a couple masses off, took his spleen out, took a big mass off of his intestine. So I didn't know if he'd survive it. You know, at 10, that's a pretty tough procedure. Took him up to Ohio State, where they do amazing job with their veterinary school. And man, this happened, by the way, mid-July, like late July.
Jeez.
And I mean, he was down and out. In fact, I was pretty much he's not going to be able to go out on the road. And then the last 2 or 3 weeks, he's kind of come around. And I'm telling you, dude, as much as he feeds us, like you're right, he lights up a room, tail's constantly wagging. I think he feeds off of being out there. Like, it's incredible just to see his personality and his energy when he gets out there, and loves to say hi to the people and walks into a tailgate. We got any ham sandwiches? Like, he just walks randomly on his own.
Legitimately. And then he's welcomed everywhere.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not just going to say no to that beautiful of a dog, especially with how cool he is. And Ben's a dog. So we knew he was going to be okay at the age of 10. Excited he's back on the road. Let's talk about a team that might be filled with some dogs. Head coach getting into it a little bit, walking into the stadium. Go ahead, Con Man.
I mean, those people tweeting about Ben, how you feel now. Guy had cancer and survived, so you're even a bigger asshole. But yeah, Herbie, Notre Dame, there's a video of Marcus Freeman kind of getting the boys going before the game. How do you feel about their performance? Obviously, on offense, kind of took a little while to figure it out, but that seems to be something that they're going to continue to grow with the young offensive line in Riley Leonard. But is this the year for Notre Dame? Are we looking at a possible 5 seed because that's as high as they can go without the conference?
Dude, I appreciate you going there because, man, I walked out of there. I'm glad you brought him up. I forgot to bring him up. I love that. I love that.
Me too.
AJ knows him better than anybody. Played with James Laurinaitis, part of the Ohio State linebacking crew that was fantastic. Wayne Warrior. But he is an absolute – I don't know if there's another coach that relates to the players better, genuinely, authentically, than Marcus Freeman. And, he's got Jim Tressel, and his style and playing for him. He even told me before the game, hey, a punt's okay. We're breaking in a freshman left tackle. We've got some new people up there. And then he's like, look at right in the fourth quarter. I told you, like he told his guys, we're going to find a way to win this thing in the fourth quarter. They're only going to get better with Riley Leonard at quarterback. And that offensive line is so young when they come together. I like the skill when they just, how when you look at when a team comes on the field, Pat, you're big on that. Like, wow, TCU, they're big. Like Notre Dame, through recruiting, through the portal, they look so different than where they were a few years ago. They used to always have big linemen, big tight ends, big D linemen, big linebackers. And their skill, it just looks different. They're long, they're bouncing, athletic guys. You look at their schedule, it's probably going to be favored in every game they play. The game at the end of the year, all of a sudden with USC at the LA Coliseum, interesting game to remember and to put on the back of your mind. But Notre Dame is, I think they're mature. They got a great a group together. I think they're a team that's going to be in the playoff without a doubt. It's just a matter of how much better can they get, and can they stay healthy? Because I don't know what kind of depth they have right now.
Massive win in College Station in front of that crowd, obviously showing up, big
No matter
nights,
what.
everything.
Yep.
That's a huge win. However it pans out, was he like that as a player, AJ? And he wasn't like this last year, right?
I don't know. Was he that way? Was he that way as a player?
He's pretty reserved. He was a freshman my senior year, but Marcus was pretty reserved. But I mean, I watched him in high school. As Kurt said, he's a Wayne Warrior. I watched Marcus scored 6 touchdowns and punt and kick and return kickoffs and do everything. So yeah, he was all over the place. He's a monster. But yeah, getting that That's authentic. That's not like a thing. So no one told him, hey, go pump the boys up.
Well, it's like he's comfortable being himself now, it seems. You know, like that job is not the easiest role. Like being a Notre Dame head coach, that is not an easy, especially after what last year we go up there and I experienced it for the first time. And I'm talking to Pete Bavacqua, who's the athletic director, and getting a tour of the history and what it is and where his office is and why his office is located where his office is in Notre Dame and everything it is. That's not an easy gig, being a Notre Dame head coach. So
that's your first head job? You're the head coach at Notre Dame.
Couldn't even fathom the pressure.
That's as tough an ask in the college game as there is. But I tell you what's great is he's being himself, like you said. But when you talk to him, I hopefully we do a Notre Dame game day because I'd love for you two to hang out. You talk to him, you become a bigger fan.
Oh yeah,
way bigger fan. I mean, he is as good of a guy as there is, and it's no wonder they're recruiting well. The program's doing this with him. I mean, they're just beginning, in my opinion, of where they're going with him as a head coach.
Shane Gillis said he would like us to refer to them as tight end university a little bit more. They're
not, though.
Who is?
Iowa is, period.
Go ahead. He said, no, start listing them off. This is at a bar in College Station that we paid $400 for to let nobody in so we can have one beer with each other without, and then kind of go through there. He goes, list them off.
Yeah, Anthony Fasano, Kyle Rudolph. I mean, Iowa's got
Eifert, and then I guess there's a guy now that they got, some Mitchell Evans.
Mitchell Evans.
Mitchell Evans, who got hurt last year. He goes, best tight end in the country, dude. Last year gets hurt, and everybody forgets he exists.
I mean, are we talking about guys being good in college, or are we talking about guys who go on to be like all pros in the NFL? Because I think that's, they're developed at the college level.
So Shane was taking a direct shot at Iowa.
Sounds like it.
Okay. All right. Anyways, Notre Dame tight end university.
Hey. I will put some points on the board, all right?
Goddamn right. Goddamn right.
There we go.
Hey, who was not on the sideline?
You guys are the ones that do that. I don't.
Whoa. Kirk's back next week. Let's go. Kirk's back.
Big one, too.
Can't wait to watch. And obviously, that team could. Why not?
Why not?
Why not Iowa?
Why not?
Let's talk about another team we're saying why not to. And you bring up Marcus Freeman. I didn't see any videos from the locker room while he was giving a speech afterwards, but I do know that a very Miami thing happened this past weekend where there was a recording live of the coach afterwards talking his shit in Cristobal, who has taken it on the shins a lot since he decided to run the ball instead of kneel it out. So I'm assuming he's pumped about it. D-Bot has a question for you about the state of the U.
Absolutely. If you're talking about tight ends going on to be great in the NFL, tight end U is probably University of Miami for sure. But been a South Florida kid and a lifetime fan of the Canes. Obviously, Cam Ward, he come in as advertised. I mean, just composed, just the aura around him. The hype is real down in South Florida. You mentioned it earlier, we've been waiting for a quarterback for a long, long time. But what's the expectations, the outlook? I know you said you like to kind of wait a few weeks. But after seeing them going into the swamp, hostile environment, obviously not much expectation from the Gators this year. But what do you see around Cam Ward and that roster and why they can make a run this year?
So we're going we, huh? Okay. I didn't know you kicked UConn.
Took a 43-point loss.
He does this.
I thought Huskies were we. Huskies are we in hoops.
Oh, wait. Hey, I'm a Husky through and through, but, I grew up.
All right.
He does this.
Especially in basketball, yes.
He's got a lot of teams.
Hey, the thing with the video, come on. The only thing I feel like can slow Miami down right now is themselves. Just don't have that guy or whoever's in the background. You don't want that. I mean, coach is up there. He's saying what's up and basically saying what he thinks about his critics and the Gators. And we got somebody back there filming. Really? I mean, we can't do that. This team, hopefully that gets nipped in the bud. I think Mario will probably be more offended than anybody. But this team seems to have, when Miami, it's always about, the swag's back. I didn't feel that at all. I felt like the sledgehammer is back. I just felt like they went out there and whipped ass. It wasn't about talking trash. It was now maybe the post game talking to the recruits. I saw that, but during the game, I just felt like they were just beating Florida up and enjoying it. That's kind of a characteristic of Mario Cristobal. So remember, it used to be about the turnover chain and whatever else they're doing. It just seemed like they were playing old-fashioned football and just beating up on an opponent. And I find that refreshing. I hope they stay in that space as they get all the pats on the back and told how wonderful they are. I hope they'll just stay angry. If they stay angry with Cam Ward And by the way, Damian Martinez has as much to do with as anything. Let's not forget having him back there with Cam Ward. But if they can stay angry and not start worrying about all this stuff, they will be a blast to watch this year.
Cam Ward being that veteran, like the guy he is, I think is a huge asset to the entire program.
Totally.
Cristobal had to be so happy whenever, obviously, transfer portal happens. Then he gets him. Then he sees the way he operates. He's got to be like, holy shit, I've been waiting. This is it now. This is the moment. I hope they go on a run because that ACC, pretty wide open.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go back.
Wide open.
Pretty wide open. Let's go back to the Big Ten. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Kirk, do you think Oregon is one of those teams you're talking about where it's like, hey, reserve judgment for a couple weeks with Dylan Gabriel just getting there? Or do you think after watching this first week in the Big Ten, teams like Penn State and USC might be a little bit closer to the Ohio State and Oregon's in the conference?
I look at Oregon, it's a team that I picked preseason to win it all. And when I talk to Coach Saban about it and others, a lot of people are worried about how Oregon is going to stack up throughout the entire season of the Big Ten physically, again, at the line of scrimmage. They know about Dylan and they know about the receivers and all that. But can they week in and week out deal with the physicality? I think they can, and I think getting off to a slow start, I think sometimes actually can help you. I have NC State this week. They didn't look really good against Western Carolina, and everyone's like, "Oh, Tennessee's going to kill them." Like those are the games I'd be careful with. Don't just assume because a team looks okay against a lesser opponent that's who they are. I think sometimes it shows maybe that they need to not come down to an opponent. But I think I'm not questioning Oregon. I'm more impressed with USC. USC's schedule, if it's not the toughest in the country, think about they joined the Big Ten, and then for fun, they throw LSU at the beginning and Notre Dame at the end, on top of being in the Big Ten with the travel and everything that they have to do with. So I think USC stock up, Penn State stock up, reserving judgment on who this Oregon team really is until they play an opponent that we can actually judge them off how good they might be.
Yeah, it might take them a little bit to find their groove too. Teams do that. That happens. Look at Alabama last year with Jalen and Milroe at the beginning of the season versus the end of the season. Could happen with Oregon, especially with Dylan Gabriel. Go ahead, pal.
Do you see Miller Moss bringing a little bit of juice on that game? I didn't know he had that in him.
Santa Monica kid, too. He did an interview afterwards. I listened to him talk. Love this dude.
Yeah.
Love everything
Very
about
impressed.
him. Yeah, and
Yeah, that was really cool to see. He was bringing some fire. And how about them? Lincoln Riley reminded America, especially Paul Feinbaum, who I guess has taken some shots on him. He reminded America he's a pretty good coach. And I'll say this, Caleb Williams is awesome. Good luck in Chicago. Going to do great things. But a coach likes to call plays, to sequence plays, because he knows what his quarterback's going to do. And because Caleb and the theatrics and ability to make plays, and it was great, it's so tough on a play caller to try to get into a rhythm when Caleb is doing some magic. With Miller Moss, it's like, okay, we're going to run the counter. We're going to set that play action. We're going to run counter. We're going to hit that. It's just, it pieces together. And I think it was a reminder of how good Lincoln Riley is with a quarterback like Miller Moss. And that's something to really watch as this season progresses, is that relationship with the headphones, with Lincoln Riley, Miller Moss, and what a catch, and the receivers and the skill that they have to work with. That's insane by Hudson. That's catch of the year.
Yeah, that's one of. There's 5 of them in week 1. I think it's going to happen every single week in this entire thing. And what you're referring to is very similar to the situation in Green Bay whenever Aaron left, and then Jordan Love's running LaFleur's offense. LaFleur wouldn't say it publicly, 100%. But everybody was like, now LaFleur's offense is system, as opposed to Aaron making every
improvising,
play.
Making plays,
every play better almost. Caleb was doing I'll make every play better, but then it's also. You miss out on the little moves in chess that you're kind of doing. Yep. Just 2 different styles. Would always want a superstar. Yep. Always would want a superstar. But if you get a guy that can operate your system, especially if it's Lincoln's system, you're probably very eager to do that as well.
With Lincoln there, the offense is never going to be the issue, but the defense, I felt like showed. Because on the other side, Neusmeyer and those receivers are making plays too. But Coach Lynn coming over from UCLA and that defense to start out like they did, arrow definitely up on USC.
Danton?
Yeah.
Danton Lynn, right?
Danton Lynn, getting it done, man.
Top 15.
Came over from UCLA, played at Penn State, coached with Rex Ryan. He's been around Gus Bradley. He told me that with Rex Ryan, he learned about how multiple you can be, of being aggressive. Gus Bradley was more about teaching and understanding, and he kind of has that personality. He's more of a Gus Bradley type as far as his approach. But man, if that's what he has to work with, and that's the beginning, a lot of us were excited. Now, here's a quick thing: when USC the last couple of years, they were slanting and angling defense, and that either takes you into plays or it takes you out of plays. And so it was a feast or famine, and a lot of famine. And a lot of that didn't work. Now they're going back to just boom. They got bigger. Now they've gotten back to just taking that offensive line on, and it frees up those backers to get downhill and really frees them up to be able to make a lot of plays. So they're more aggressive, more physical, and I think now more confident because of that win, but buying into this new system of Danton Lynn's.
Yeah, congratulations to USC if they got it, because the defense was always the issue.
Yeah.
That was always the issue. So if they can figure it out, that's fantastic. Now let's look at this weekend. Last question here from Tone, who is an AP voter for the NFL awards this year. Tone Digz.
Wow.
Yeah.
AP Tone, baby.
Friday, before any of these games were played, Texas was a 3.5-point favorite going into Michigan this weekend. After these games were played, Texas handled Colorado State very, very easily. Michigan, there's some big questions there, Kirk, at the quarterback position on the offensive side. Even the offensive line, they are now 7.5-point favorites. Texas are in Michigan. What were your takeaways from those two teams this weekend? And then this weekend, how do you think that's going to go?
I mean, Texas, again, when you play a team that you're supposed to beat and you show up and you do it, that to me is a mark of a mature team and a team that's on a mission. They're locked in, listening, and ready to go. They're not, I always get worried about teams that we talked about earlier. They come up when they're playing a good opponent, and then they come down a little bit when they're playing a team they're supposed to beat. Texas did what you're supposed to do when you play a team that you're better. I mean, you could see. I mean, they could have done whatever they wanted. Arch Manning, a little improvisation here, nice play, a little dance on the sideline. Yeah. Nice to see that. Quinn Ewers, that whole team. Sark's got these guys rolling as they get ready for the SEC. When I say rolling, not Colorado State, rolling as far as the program as a whole. He'll have them welcoming the challenge of going into the big house. Michigan, of course, it's easy to jump to conclusions about how they played. That was not the game that I think we all envisioned. The offense, not quite in rhythm. Think back when J.J. McCarthy was that quarterback. What did they do? We all want to focus on quarterback. To me, Michigan was a line of scrimmage team. They ran the football with Blake Corum, and they put J.J. McCarthy in favorable play action situations. They were not able to do that in this game. So the last drive of the game against Fresno looked like Michigan football. Ran the ball, play action, got the tight end involved. And I'm not making excuses for them, but I could see them looking to Texas, even though they're not taught to do that. It's just human nature. You have such a massive game. Sometimes it's hard to take that team serious. I'm not quoting Sharon Moore there, but I just feel like
as a college football analyst, we've seen it. Yeah.
I just, you know what I mean? It looked like that. They just they didn't look like themselves. I think they'll play much better with much more enthusiasm on Saturday. And I think they got a shot if they can get that run game going.
I can't wait to get there. I can't thank you enough for being so welcoming. And shout out to Coach Saban. I think he's going to do a little dancing this weekend.
Hell yeah.
He's going to do a little dancing.
You got that headlock shot with you with your shirt off?
I mean, we had 45 seconds until end of show. I mean, that's too much time. That's way too much time.
Let me clear one thing up for the internet.
Oh no!
And some people have had some fun saying, "Look at they showed you dancing, then they showed Nick Saban with kind of that look from the sidelines." Look,
yeah, right here, yep, side eye.
Look, there's a happy guy. Oh boy,
there's a bit of a scout.
There's a happy guy.
Yep, dancing.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. Sick of my
that
shit.
Could not be anything further than the truth.
No.
Nick Saban. He would obviously love to be on the sideline. You can't replace coaching. I don't know if I've seen a guy have more fun than Nick Saban is having right now in college game days.
In the production meetings, all of it.
He is owning it. He's involved. He's loving it. I think he feels his big concern when he retired is it's the first time I haven't been part of a team. And I think he feels like he's part of a team. don't take that little video out of context. He loves Pat. I think he loves the show. I think he's having it's a 10 out of 10, if not a 12 out of 10, 2 weeks into this with Coach Saban. And I don't know about you, the kick last week, I got killed. I mean,
Hey, where are we going with this? And I look up.
How did that,
the mics were screwed.
Didn't turn over one time. I think spiraled. That son of a good kick out of the kid Colin. I appreciated him. Or Lucas, shit, you get it. You get it. This kid was cool. I
Look at
appreciated
that.
it. Yeah, just.
And then it's just pandemonium. I'm buried. I thought I was going down. I mean,
good call by Stanford Steve with a sweet hat.
Yep.
Appreciate him buying in. Shane being there. That kid was awesome. That's why, you give him an extra shot. Him at the beginning saying kicking's so easy, doing his shit. He didn't want to say that. I just said hey, it's a lot easier if you say bad things about kickers, so we can say things. You got it, man. He was just pumped to be there. He wins 50
look
grand.
at how ugly that kick is.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
matter. Good to him. We'll continue that. Kirk, we appreciate you, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, Kirk Herbstreit. Hey, as we get a break here on ESPN, I need to tell you that you can use the QR code that has been shown here to go to Dude Wipe Stop the Streak contest and potentially win $100,000. If the Browns are able to return a touchdown this year for the first time in 14 years, somebody will win $100,000. Scan the code. You can join us. Dude Wipes is the greatest. Right.
Well done, sir.
14 years, a long time to live with a Brown streak. Is the official title.
That's nuts. Why'd they do that?
Dude Wipes is betting this is the year the Browns end their nasty streak, and you could cash in on it when they make their first return touchdown since 2006. Cribs, I assume.
Yeah.
Use the QR code to enter Dude Wipes to stop the streak contest and win $100,000. It's free to enter. And obviously they say, be a friend, tell a friend something nice might change your life, like Dude Wipes, which is very real. They even got camo.
Oh, yeah.
They got camo packaging, just in case you want to go out in the woods. Hunting season's right around the corner here.
That's right.
Take that thing out there. I think they were looking for a brown streak of some sort.
Oh, why didn't they do the Super Bowl? They've never won that one. That's a long streak.
Tony.
Okay, Tony.
They're trying to give away money.
Got him.
Oh, you're right.
They're
Okay.
like
So there's a
good
chance the kickoff happens. The Super Bowl's never going to happen.
You don't know.
Would a punt count? Does a punt return count?
Yes, I think any return touchdown, I do believe.
Can you do that as an AP voter now?
That's what he just said?
Yeah, because that's kind of biased journalism.
AP turn. AP turn. How about that? That's wild.
It is wild, but no, as a team, there's no team voting, okay? I respect their individual players. Myles Garrett, obviously, Defensive Player of the Year. I voted for him last year if I would have had a vote.
Well, you're already doing too much. You're already doing, now they're starting to catch the trends.
Sean Watson, maybe comeback player of the year.
Hold on. Listen, we need to remember
I doubt that.
Jeez, that's one half of the hammer. Dahn, Cowboys tone Digz. He might be.
Don't be influencing.
I ain't got a vote. Don't matter.
Listen, AP Tone needs to make sure he's seeing a clear picture.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need any
clear as full heart.
Anthony Richardson comeback player of the year.
Right. You didn't need any of that. Jordan Love MVP.
Aaron Rodgers only played 4 plays.
I mean, Alex Van Pelt, he's front runner for assistant coach of the year. Let me tell you about him, AP Tone.
Shout out to Rob Motti. Shout out to Rob Motti for making that happen. He reached out to the program. We had a nice conversation. He potentially offered me up one, and I said, no way. No way am I supposed to be in that particular position. But Tone is the perfect guy for it. Yep. Literally watches all of the film, studies all of the numbers. He's so dialed in. Incredibly proud of you, Tone. Honestly. It's like 50 people.
Honestly,
it's like 50 people.
when you say we're living the dumbest lives of all time, just another.
Yeah, but your vote better not be dumb. There's journalistic standards here. This is the AP.
That's right. No. As I said when Rob was on, I will take this more serious than anything.
Did you ever think you'd be teammates with Tom Brady?
No. Dan Orlovsky?
No.
Yeah.
Not that.
No.
Rob Motti?
Yeah, maybe.
Are all your votes public? Will they become public though once he casts it? They're all public.
Yeah.
Once you
need that transparency.
Yeah, I agree. You do need that transparency. Let's hold the feet to the fire. Let's make sure Tone Diggs' little Italian feet are near the fire if he fucks up.
That's right.
We'll do that.
Absolutely.
We'll make sure that this is going to be the most regulated AP votes in history. Also, the most talked about probably. One highlight's going to happen over the weekend, and we're just going to be AP Tone.
AP Tone, what do you think? AP Tone? Where's this put him?
What do you think?
Are there AP Tone rankings, or is that also something you can't do?
Can't do it.
Yeah, okay.
How about Tom saying, I'm going to vote for you, and then not vote?
Classic.
Nah.
Rob Monty going, you can't just say who you're going to vote for. Tom, I'm not voting.
Yeah.
Just got me up a conversation.
Gassing him up. What do you mean?
What are we talking about?
Plays running back.
Tone, you should do that. If we end up at a social gathering, which we never go to, but let's say we end up at a social
100%.
gathering, somebody's there having a drink. Hey, I voted for you.
Yeah, you're a good guy. I'm a vote for you.
The amount of I voted for yous that you can say, through the roof.
Hey, you got any all-pro incentives in your contract? Kick me back a little bit.
Oh, geez, Tone.
Tony,
That's what I'm saying. You can't say that outside voice.
Keep doing that.
That's got to be inside voice only, Tone. Like
That's worse than Dano tweeting out a picture of all of his picks.
This is for Tone and the rest of the AP voters' odds on their MVP award.
What do you think here, Tone? Who's the leader, Tone?
Stop.
Oh.
Do the books have it right, AP Tone, or is this how you guys are seeing the field? Have you had an AP voters meeting yet?
Well, no games have been played yet, so I haven't had a chance to look at any of the film from 2024 yet. Those are odds based off of past years. I will only be looking at the 2024 season.
Do you think you guys are in a group text immediately as soon as this happens?
They sent it, yeah.
Nice. Congratulations. Proud of you. All right, let's take a break, and on the other side, we'll break down all the news that happened that we haven't chatted about. Ricky Pearsall got shot. Darius Slade talked about Brazil. Trent Williams is back, seemingly. Jaden Daniels has some filthy dance move.
Yeah.
I don't know how many games he's going to win, but I do know
Get some wiggle.
the way he can. I mean, that was fucking impressive.
For shoot.
All right, we're back on the other side. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice might change your life. Like Dude Wipes, take 5.
5.
Gentlemen, congratulations. Thank you so much for taking the time where you're contractually obligated to, so I appreciate you guys being here.
I want to be here. I just want you to know.
Come on.
I have watched you do your thing, man. Nothing but respect and praise for you.
Will you touch this? Me too, man.
Way to go, son. Number 2 overall, man. Dude. Boys, you're calling a national championship again, Kai Schmidt.
Unbelievable. Should we be here?
No!
Probably not.
No way. I kicked the ball to myself on that.
Oh, yeah.
Right there, I kicked the ball to myself.
That's right.
Should have told CJ that.
Maybe the most athletic thing I've ever done in my entire being. Well, CJ, yeah, happy to see you.
Completely ruined.
Everybody's happy to see you.
Ruined the lot.
I picked him.
Really
I picked him to win. I'm all right.
CJ. Congratulations on winning the AFC South as a rookie quarterback.
It's a big deal. First time ever with a rookie.
You okay?
That's a big deal, CJ. Dude, you're absurd, bro.
Thank you.
For how young you are?
Playing in Indianapolis, that was probably the loudest stadium I played in NFL.
Wow.
That was like a college atmosphere.
How about that?
Pete, you got 2 knees, 2 ankles?
2 knees, 2 ankles, and some big boy pants that slide up around.
Move along like I know you can. Move along. Where's that guy's penis go?
That guy had a lot of courage.
Good question.
It's ice cold in there. It's ice cold.
It's the first documented button dick. Game day stuff. That's what's being said. I didn't come up with that. That's what's being said.
It was our show, 3 hours, 15 minutes. Then it was a 2-hour gap. Then it was game day, straight in national championship field pass.
For 2 schools that are going to be talking about this day for the rest of their lives. Both of these teams being chastised from all different angles. Washington, there's no way this team from the Pac-12 in their last year with Kalen DeBoer as the head coach can continue to win. They're going to stumble somewhere. They didn't. Then you think about Michigan. 2 separate suspensions for their head coach, and all they've done is stay the course. And tonight, banners, rings, reunion conversations forever on the line. What an honor it is to be here.
Look at his belt buckle like yours, man.
Belt buckle. Like with some light ranching to do down here in Houston. He comes out of his cuts, he sees people, he shakes them, and he doesn't look anywhere near as small as you would think. He's powerful. I love Blake. A lot of NFL GMs are saying, wait a second, is Michael Penix maybe one of the top 3 guys to go to the NFL? Because what he does with the football is stupendous.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the national championship game for the 2023 college football season. That'll see the Washington Huskies representing the Pac-12 in its final year, taking on that team led by that man, the Michigan Wolverines and Jim Harbaugh. We're bouncing. We are house calling. Donovan Edwards, touchdown in the national championship
one-hand grab start the national championship.
And maybe D-ball.
Con man, what's the decibels over there?
Yeah, Pat, the decibels are high right now. Let me tell you, it's 106.4. This might be the line.
Good decibel meter. We have actual gimmicks. Depending upon tonight, does JJ go to the NFL? Which Mel Kiper has him as the 5th-rated quarterback in the draft. What does that mean, Mel?
Well, it means that he's got the physical and tangible tools in his head to be a first-round quarterback. I think whether he wins or loses. Oh,
Donovan Edwards running into our lap. That's 2 for the Michigan Wolverines and 2 for Donovan Edwards. Pete Thamel, how long's that sign blocker been doing it? And how has he gotten to a level where he's the best in the game?
He's been a Michigan man for quite some time now. And obviously, he wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for that pesky bastard Connor Stallions. But Coach Harbaugh, he found a place for him in the Michigan family.
A beautiful moment between the Harbaugh brothers on the sideline. The one on the right there, number 1 seed in the AFC. The one on the left, up 17-3 in the national championship. Third option, McMillan, touchdown with a flag on Michigan. That'll stand 17-10. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Hey-o! Michigan has the rock.
Tony dropped his mic. Tony dropped his mic.
Oh, no.
Oh, no knee.
Welcome back to the national championship where elite athletes perform and Tone Digz does something to embarrass his entire family.
I'm ready if Penix goes down. Sling.
Boom! Snap, handoff, play Cora. Has blockers. Breaks a tackle. Touchdown, Michigan. Penix is left. He hasn't looked there yet. And the Michigan Wolverines are going to be national champions for the first time in a long time. Oh, yes, security. We got a streaker. Security spearing a guy's losing his pants. Cops on top of him. Wow. Cross body. Wow. Cop's got his knee on his sternum. Say, listen, Michigan man.
Oh. Bag him and tag him, boys.
I think Pink Shirt pulled a quad.
Pink Shirt is not ready.
What a win, dude.
Hey.
What?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this, we're finally here. Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. Hour 3 of the program starts right now. Football is awesome. That's AJ Hawkeye. Won a football championship in college and in the pros.
Damn.
Centerville never won in high school.
Nope, we never got there when, not during my time. Actually, they've only made it to the state finals once.
And how'd it go?
It's tough. They got beat by Cleveland St. Ignatius, another great team up in Cleveland, close to where Drew Aller is from.
That's Ohio football.
That's
right. It's going to be tough. You're not just going to walk
Yeah.
through there, walk out of that town. Forget it. You talk to them here at Boston Corner at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn, Cowboys, A.P. Tone is here. Tone, how you doing, pal?
Good. How are you doing, brother?
If you feel it,
you can chase it.
Feel good about that shirt? You think that was the right shirt to wear on the AP voter announcing day?
Thought about it. Yeah, I think it is.
I saw some people say it's post-Labor Day. What are you wearing that cap for?
Yep. And I had to respond to those people and say I can't wear the felt. I have to wear the straw if I'm going with the Tyler Owens T-shirt tomorrow. I will observe that Labor Day just happened and the straw hat will go away for this.
Today you're in costume, not as an AP voter, but as a tornado chaser.
That's right. Bingo.
You look super cool. He's got the black boots.
Oh, yeah, it's a clean fit.
Yeah, this is a very good fit. This is a good
Boom.
Yeah.
Ooh,
bang.
okay.
You ever seen some of those? A lot of those down at Texas A&M, but like not nice ones.
What?
The amount of shit
Like
that
work
goes
boots? Like they've been working. Yeah, like they're using them.
all of everybody. Work. Like legitimately. They were that was one of the most country towns I've been in. I mean, every bouncer you had, strapped cowboy boots on, fucking, I don't want to say bedazzled pants, but like those those affliction pants almost.
Oh, yeah.
Seemingly jacked.
A lot of chaw, I'd assume.
Absolutely. It was a good time.
Hell right.
Hell right.
Hell right.
Somewhere. In America, there's a bottle to burn and a firelight. You ain't nothing if you do halfway. If you're gonna raise hell, you better damn raise hell right. Hell right. Hell right. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Banger.
It did feel like
The whole time.
the whole time. It is a banger. That's 9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler.
Maybe D-Ball.
How did Von Miller look out there?
What's that?
Vaughn, our guy Vaughn.
Vaughn looked good.
He looked strapped.
Huge.
He looked very good. He looked good. He looked. I only got to talk to him for like probably 30 seconds to a minute because it was in between segments. Asked him how he's doing. He said he's feeling good. Looked good. Obviously had good energy, good juice. He's obviously a massive piece that was missing.
Yeah.
Up there. He was on like defensive MVP run there for a bit 2 years ago. What? What's your problem?
I mean, missing. He played a good amount.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying. 2 years, he was literally up for. He came in there. They paid him what, 60-some million allegedly. The whole thing.
Yeah.
And then he came in and was like sack a game. It was like working out. Then injury happens, and he looks good though. He looks very good.
Good.
Johnny Manziel looked incredibly happy. I was pumped for him. He looked very content, very comfortable, launching a podcast. Love everything about him.
Bar. Saw the bar location. Awesome.
Two filled up. That's why we didn't go in there.
Yep.
Everything is kind of in the same area. So when Shane Gillis wants a quesadilla,
sure,
you know,
as you do in Texas,
which
is like in the center
of everything.
Make sure to stand right under the spotlight.
Just
the brightest light in the street.
That you could, obviously, and have Tires be the #1 show on Earth, picked up for season 2. Congrats to him.
Hell yeah.
But it's like it was hard to kind of escape anywhere, you know, because of his superstardom, which is a good thing, not a bad thing. But like we're gonna sneak up to Manziel's place. So it was like, oh, it would be cool stuff. But packed. Place was absolutely packed.
And we found the coldest bar in Texas.
What do you mean?
Like the AC was
like it was cool,
yeah,
like fun.
It was no, like it was cold in there. It was so hot outside. The temperature actually was freezing. It was
I'm about done with the humidity. I'm about done with it.
Well, I mean,
AJ, West Virginia, buddy.
Give it a month.
It looked pretty. It looked awesome. Cool. Who's drone shots? Who's doing all? Are you guys doing the drone early shots?
Yeah. So, kayfabe,
Jib, whatever it is.
Kayfabe. That was pre-record. So we recorded that about 30 minutes before we went live.
Either way, the people were still there, no matter what.
Zeke awesome. Flies drone. If we would have waited till noon, it would have been a much bigger thing. Zeke Flies drone. We cut that thing. The police had 4 drones up around our set as well, and they said if you need any shots or anything, we could send it over. Didn't want to negotiate with the police for drones.
Sure.
But the Morgantown police were incredibly kind. Thank you to everybody over there. Legitimately, thank you to everybody in Morgantown. Wellesley put on a show.
He's a dog.
Wellesley put on an absolute show. The carbon monoxide from the generators were shooting into each other. So they got carbon monoxide, like alarms went off. Stop generator. Generator then stops powering audio from stage in program. So that's just a little something you learn about and move with the heat and everything that was happening. So we're down for about 4 minutes or so. And I'll tell you what. We had a blast over there. And I think I met a lot of the people that you see in your shot right now after the show.
Yeah.
Got a chance to chat with everybody. People were so nice, so kind, so pumped. It was a magical day as my guy Logan there, who was there at 6 a.m., gets his tuition paid for from Deuce McBride. Just casual standard jumper, basically from like half court. What a shot for him. It was a magical day, AJ. And obviously, you know, we'll be back in Morgantown at some point to do another show. But if they win against Penn State,
oh man,
it's a much better.
Oh, can you imagine?
Yeah, I mean, game day's going.
Ooh. Oh my God, it's all right. We still got a long season. This is what the 12-team playoff is all about.
Who are you playing next?
You lose one, we got an FCS Northeast.
Don't you have Duke? Don't you have the Dukes coming up at some point?
Albany, I think, is who we're actually playing.
Last year,
FCS Northeast.
Tough squad.
Okay,
we're good.
Albany's got some dogs this year.
Take them lightly.
They do.
Especially, I'm pretty sure the goatee on their coach is strong.
So you got to watch out if you get a little noise in there.
I don't know what you're saying.
It's strong. I mean, he's not weak. Didn't cut it off after ass whooping. But I did love the addition of the Pat Cam too. The Pat Cam was dope.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah, that was a good addition.
That was cool.
Okay, so we weren't going to be able to get the side there. The hill.
That was behind you.
That was behind the stage, yeah. Weren't going to be able to get that no matter how we set up the cameras. So that was just an easy way to kind of get it. And then Deuce McBride's shot, it's like a perfect angle.
Yeah.
There.
Yes.
Had a couple things. And I didn't know when it was on, when it wasn't on, so that's 100% on me. I gave some rocky shots. I'll be better next time. I'll be better next time. I've been watching the crew from the WWE operate and work. You know, that entire team, Sweat Stew, the whole crew. So I've been picking up tips throughout my time over there. So I'm going to try to get better. But this shot right here, some say might win an Emmy. Who shot it? You told me. It was a great, just full chaos, too. It was 100 and something.
It was so hot.
I'm fucking done with the humidity.
Nobody passed out, though? Like, everyone was cool? Usually you get that many people together, a few of them will drop out.
No, everybody good. Everybody's super healthy.
Some older fella from Penn State got the shit beat out of him. Outside of that, everyone
He just had a lot of bottles thrown at him.
Well, and then he chewed his shoulder and rolled down the hill as well. But
I did not see that. I don't recall that. So I don't know.
It was right behind you. I saw footage later. I wasn't even privy to what was going on. People were going crazy over there. I was like, oh man, everyone's excited.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that. I didn't know that happened. I saw the internet talking about it. I thought it was AI. That happened?
I guess. I don't know.
We never know. We never really.
You go into enemy territory and you start waving a flag. You know, you got these rambunctious college kids. It might happen. Yeah.
Hope everybody's okay. We appreciate everybody.
Amen.
That 2-hour delay took the steam out of that crowd.
It did.
How couldn't they?
Well,
I saw a lot of West Virginia grads posting biggest home opener since 1998, and it was photos from the crowd in the fourth quarter or whatever. It was pretty empty. And I'm like, I don't understand.
Severe weather.
2 hours? They didn't know if
Credit to anybody who goes back. Credit to anyone other than the kids' parents who go back. Can you imagine?
I couldn't imagine. I appreciate everybody that did, and I do wish that place was filled up all the way through that. I was pushing pretty hard for that game to be canceled.
Sure.
As soon as I was gonna try to bang the drum for that thing. Let's postpone this to another week, and then it's just a draw.
Call it a draw. Let's call it a draw. And move on.
I was in the plane just thinking, let's go ahead and cancel this thing. And then they saw that Rob Stone's paper blew onto the camera. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
And then there was lightning in the back. I'm like, call the game. These people are going to die out here.
Waterfall down the steps.
They need to cancel this game. How is this? This is not okay for anybody to be playing football in.
Sure.
We'll finish this next month, next year, maybe next decade.
Just call it.
You know what I mean?
I thought it was going to work in your favor. Usually when you're outmatched, you get some weather, you get that kind of evens the odds a little more.
In a very nice locker room.
That's at your place, yeah.
I thought so.
But nope.
Yeah.
The
faster team down.
Yeah.
Do you think they had more orange slices?
I do wonder how many orange.
Those are so good. Those are so good.
Smuckers too.
Those what are those little the little stinger bee things are the new things now, right?
The waffles they have the gummy, the little stinger gummies are great. So waffles.
What are those?
The
That's
stinger
honey.
gummies.
What is that?
It's like, I don't know. I'm sure I think they may sweeten it with honey a little bit. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, has electrolytes, little energy boost at halftime.
B12 or something, I think, maybe.
You guys are getting shots in there? I didn't know.
Don't you get hungry? I was always starving. I was starving at halftime.
Yeah, are they giving Toradol at halftime over there? Wow, how did Penn State look so good?
We should look into that maybe.
They're professionals. They know what they're doing.
Dude, that big, that fast, 2 hours, go all the way cooled down, stuck in a locker room, not a nice locker room.
Take all your shit off.
It's like all of it, and then to get revamped back up, it's like that's.
Well, you never
easy.
know. Sometimes it's worse where you can't. I don't know if I can take my cleats off because it takes me 20 minutes to get these things back on. What's it look like? Yeah,
ankles taped. Like that game's supposed to end 2.5 hours before it did. These guys have the ankle. Did everybody just that whole thought in my head? I'm like, West Virginia. Those dudes over there, they got a small training room.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a big training. We got a big training room.
Yeah.
We got the showers. We got
everything.
They got too comfortable. That's how it works, man. You got too comfortable.
Man.
They were pissed off. Penn State came out there pissed off.
Yeah.
This is more shocking what happened as we're talking about it.
What?
They got shit pumped, and I'm bummed out about it because they gave us all this really cool merch. And it's going to be real tough to wear it around town now.
No, you can still trust the climb. They're climbing.
I trust the climb. I'm worried about the climb, though.
There's a lot of people very loudly worried about the climb on the internet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people.
Like Utah. Look at what Utah did. And, I know they didn't play Penn State. Okay? But those boys look tough.
Southern Utah's close.
Those boys look tough.
Well, the issue here with everything is a lot of ball left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
Coach Neil Brown without a goatee, I'll have you. Babyface.
I don't know if that helps.
Stern and serious all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Is he serious?
He looks like a defeated man now. I mean, how you gonna have? How is anyone gonna have confidence in him in the locker room when he didn't even have confidence in his own goatee?
He said,
"It's like Caillou."
He said, "Believe in us. Don't bail on us after one game." Now his goatee did bail.
Yeah,
it did.
After one game.
Give me a razor. I'm cutting this fucking thing off right now.
It looks
Do you think he did just mustache at any point and got any photos?
Might have just peeled it off. Might have been a stick on.
Nick, we don't need this.
Should have shaved mustache and maybe gone like Amish goatee.
How about let's
Just
move
the bottom,
on.
just the chin part.
A lot of ball left.
A lot of ball left. A lot of
Yeah,
ball
we don't
left.
even know who these teams are yet. You know that. We don't even know. Teams haven't
No idea.
forged identities yet.
Bingo. Thank you. We all feel the same way. We're all seeing it the
Forged
same
by
way.
steel.
Tone, you have an AP
Cole.
vote now.
Yeah.
Cole.
Coal miners. We got the Cole helmet.
Yeah.
Which is sick.
Super cool Cole helmet.
One of a kind.
Three
of a kind.
Got the Cole hats.
Three of a kind. We got Cole. We got Cole everything.
Getting Cole for
It's like Owen Schmidt said, just believe.
Believe,
you know?
yeah. I kind of
Believe.
I kind of knew right in
Just
there.
believe.
What?
you mean?
I knew right there. Just like I knew when I saw that graveyard of balls out here with Jacksonville State.
Oh yeah.
Kind of knew.
What do
Kinda
you?
knew
When
was
Ellen
coming.
said believe,
He said
Yeah,
believe.
once again, that didn't. I didn't feel much belief in that. It's a little worried, but long season.
Neil Brown's interview on game day had me a little worried. Because there was quite a delay, but he's holding his ear like a Secret Serviceman, and quick answers. It's like, all right, what's going through his mind? He's focused on ball.
Well, we also know sound, noise. It startles him a bit.
Well, it sounded like something exploded in his ear. So he has a game to call the next day. He didn't
Sure.
have- what are you talking about there?
I'm
What-
talking about when we were on the stage and Tony's water bottle, which was just like a 16-ounce like Nestle water bottle, fell off, basically like a feather hitting the stage, and he stopped mid-answer, said, whoa, you got a little sound over here. Got a little sound going on. And lost his train of thought, forgot where he was going. It was kind of right then and there I said, oh boy, it's going to be loud in that stadium
Oh,
tomorrow.
watch your
what
mouth.
the fuck is this guy going to do when it gets loud tomorrow?
Come on, everybody's having such a good time. Hope you're happy.
This man shook your hand.
Hell.
He did. He's a great guy, but shit, I mean, it's a fucking water bottle.
We got a
Move
long
on.
season.
Ignore it.
We got a long season.
We do got a long season.
And you don't know what he was hearing in those.
No,
those
you're right.
It was
headphones.
turned up loud on those headphones.
You're right.
You don't know what was happening. Let's not judge him by it.
No.
Hey, last season left. GG, need you to run wild.
wild.
Let's go, boys.
Yeah.
Run wild.
We're with you.
We are, absolutely. It's not over in 1 week. Although if you lose another one, they're going to say it is. It's completely. That's college football, baby.
That's right.
That's what people are saying about Florida State.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Florida State, that's tough, dude. Florida, have you seen Florida's schedule? They lose to Miami.
Oh my God.
Florida's schedule is impossible. I said it on game day, and I think people thought I was just making things up. Every team you've heard of from the SEC, they're playing consecutively at the end of the season. That's how they end. That's their last 5 games for Florida. So, like, losing to Miami was not even a possibility if you wanted this season to be worth a single fuck at all throughout the entirety of the season. And it's like Miami went in there, did their thing, and Cristobal was like, just like we said it was, we're going to whip that ass. It's like, now you know how people view, I don't like people streaming inside locker rooms. I took a picture inside a locker room. Yeah. It was one of the worst decisions I made. Streaming inside locker rooms, like, that's a sacred place. That's for teammates. I think we all feel the same way, right?
Sure.
We all feel the same way. But since we do get a chance to be in there now, even though we don't like it, we did get a chance to hear how Cristobal thinks about Florida, and it's like, that's not good for any Gator fan to hear.
No.
That's not good for any. So obviously those days are numbered, but the end of this dude's run here, Georgia, Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, Florida State, and then the SEC championship, if they were to make it there. It's like, and Tennessee with the way Nico
Tennessee
played there. You get into that.
Yeah.
It's like they
Kentucky
have,
pitched a shutout.
Yeah, Kentucky, yeah.
they have a,
Oh boy.
yep, that's Florida's end of it. So Napier, I guess, is owed 26 point something million.
Oh,
And
my
then I saw-
God. What?
Yep, and then I saw, what's your mouth? This guy's profession.
Holy shit.
This guy's profession, just like that guy that chugs beers for a living. That's unbelievable. That guy out of New Hampshire. Live free or die, brother.
Still doing it.
But Napier, if it's true from the tweet that I saw, nobody understands contracts really. I guess because he's a state employee, you do get access to it. I guess he's owed 85% of what he has left if he was to be fired or something. That's like his buyout, which would be like 22 point something million bucks for Napier or whatever. But it's like,
It's nothing.
that whole experiment down there has not gone well. And then Dan Mullen, former head coach of Florida, who was fired after, like, I forget how many New Year's Bowls or whatever, he's retweeting tweets saying, like, yeah, I got fucked down. I mean, it's quite a scene in Florida right now. It is. The Florida coach that got fired went to 3 consecutive New Year's Six games in his first 3 years and was let go in his 4th season It was like, hey, here's the expectation level at Florida. They move on to Napier, who crushed it with Louisiana, Lafayette
or Monroe.
There for a while.
Raging Cajun. He was a Raging Cajun.
Yeah. So, I mean, is Florida dead down there in Florida, I guess?
Yeah, they are dead. And, him taking shots, after the game at the fan
What'd he
base,
say? I don't
which
think I heard.
understand. Just kind of talked about, maybe it could have been AI, who knows. But to my, I'm not too interested in hearing, people's opinion from their garage in rural Central Florida. But it's tough. It's a tough start. And obviously, they came into the season with a 4.5 their win total. So 22, you said 22 million?
Yeah, 22
that's
something.
nothing. Jimbo was bought out for how much?
70.
Yeah. So, and I saw Dabo's, his buyout, they were kind of circulating that as well.
That's crazy.
We'll see how
Dabo's done a lot for that school.
That I know he has won a couple natties, but we are in a new era now. You kind of got to evolve. So, but Kurt mentioned it. That defense,
very white team over there.
Hey, Georgia couldn't run the ball at all. I was surprised by that. They came out, it was a 6-0 at halftime, but I said it at halftime, if they don't get something going on offense with Arcade, it's going to get ugly, and it did. But I want to kick Dabo out.
Roddy White was awesome.
That was
him having to come out and apologize was even better. Just like classic internet. I see I've offended some people. I do apologize. This is just me just looking at the fucking TV. I apologize. Every single locker room has had this conversation, Roddy. Hey, you do your thing, Roddy. You do your thing, Roddy.
Wills.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like, what are we even talking about here? Let's keep it moving. Now, granted, I do understand how people get pissed off about anything.
Sure.
Of course.
More so than anybody.
And Ben the dog.
Yeah, attacking a cancer-riddled dog.
Wow. Good Lord.
How about that? How do you feel about that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel great about it, I would say. I mean, people are just attacking Ben, 10-year-old going through multiple surgeries and chemo and radiation and therapy. Yeah,
spleen out.
You could feel pretty bad. You'd feel a little bit of remorse later after you heard that, but probably not.
I do appreciate Kirk letting that information out after.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Oh, you don't like this dog? It's battling leukemia right now. Okay.
I didn't think he was going to make it, actually.
Makes
the surgery.
Every room happy that he walks into is incredibly kind. One of the most well-mannered dogs in the history. Remember that fucking movie, Lassie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This fucking dog.
Yeah.
Better than Lassie.
He actually needs this to kind of keep him going. So.
Yeah, Homeward Bound?
Yeah.
Ben would be able to make it home and leave the others. Because of our relationship.
Sassy. Shadow.
Here's Reveille 10.
Yeah, not to mention every dog wants to fuck him now.
Jeez.
So you tell me. You tell me what other dogs think about him.
Ben's not clipped, is he? Ben's just putting puppies all out there.
Oh, yeah.
You're an idiot.
Good point.
It is awesome because there's a lot of dog mascots, so Ben meets them all.
Yeah.
It is always a great interaction. It's a great interaction.
Look out, Georgia.
Ben's met what, 13? No,
I get 11 or 13.
I think Georgia looked good.
Yeah.
They found themselves a new lad.
Hey, Nebraska looks good too.
Yeah, they did.
How about
Matt Rule, Raiola, yeah, man.
Hey, that dime drop down the sideline with somebody in his, on his arm. It was like, oh, he is a guy. This is a guy.
Huge.
And him walking out, too, doing this number as a freshman starting in this one right here.
Love it.
I love it. It's like, okay, this guy's made for the moment. Dad, offensive lineman, I believe, right? So he's grown up literally in the trenches in football. He's got the moxie, the swagger, the size, the ability. It's like, I love this dude. Rule's got one. It feels like Rule's, and Rule's defense is always going to play smart and sound. They got Colorado this weekend, and I think everybody's expecting Nebraska to do their thing against Colorado, but I think Nebraska's going to do their thing against a lot of people. I really enjoyed watching this Nebraska team, and their fans are incredible. So adding them back into a limelight is a beautiful thing for college football, AJ.
And adding a Nebraska team that we see like this is, we're watching highlights of long touchdown passes. Like, that's not the norm when you watch Nebraska football. So the fact that they're exciting with that whole Matt Rule old school mentality, people are juiced, I bet, in Nebraska.
All right, let's talk a little NFL, shall we? Trent Williams is back. No deal done yet, but seemingly a deal done. That's good for San Fran, AJ. We all agree.
Oh, yeah, what? Just bump him up, give him a big signing bonus, give some cash up front, and lighten his load, I guess, for the long run? Is that how it's going to happen?
Well, I don't know if they're going to lighten his load, but I assume they're going to spread out the signing bonus that they give to him over the next 4 or 5 years. Depending upon how many years he has left in his life, football life, is probably what the deal will
Because he's 36.
But then they can just kick the can, 4 or 5 years down the road. He's 40, 41 years old. Is he still going to be playing tackle? Then when do they decide to take it? Who knows? But it's like, if that's what they end up doing, it's smart play, good idea. And once again, like, San Francisco 49ers have been able to do salary cap gymnastics while still being in the middle of an all-go for an extended period of time now. Rams weren't able to do it for as long. Now the Niners are doing it. I wonder what the end game will be 5-10 years from now. But if they win a Super Bowl, who cares? That's how their entire organization is viewing it.
I could be wrong, but I think he has like 3 years left on his contract, and it could be a similar situation to what Tyreek Hill did, where they just gave him more guaranteed money. Like maybe that's all he's looking for, like just more guaranteed money, and then he's like, all right, good, I'm back. And if that math adds up to him as still being the highest paid left tackle in the league, then yeah, good for him.
Bill said he would put incentive base in there. I think Saquon Barkley and the Giants were able to negotiate a more guaranteed money thing, which is what everybody assumes Jamar Chase and the Bengals are going to be able to figure out. They won't be able to get to the number that he wants, but they'll certainly be able to add some guaranteed money, hopefully, in there so that they get that whole thing settled. But Trent back in San Francisco is a big deal. Brock Purdy is sleeping a little bit easier, but not at 3:30 in the afternoon whenever he's out and about in San Francisco.
No.
Ricky Pearsall shot through the chest. Bullet exits out his back. No vital organs hit somehow. He'll be on the 4-week non-football injury list or whatever. But I guess the more we learn about this, the more pumped we should be that this guy's still alive.
Yeah.
He's
I didn't know
alive.
that's possible.
Yeah, me neither.
Also, the kid, I heard it was a 17-year-old possibly that tried to rob him. Why don't you pick an easier target, pal? Like, what are you doing?
Low awareness.
Well, I don't know if he knew. I mean,
just look at Ricky. Ricky's what, 6'4"? I mean, obviously it's not a great decision no matter what. Don't do it. But come on, let's go.
Yeah, 3:30 in the afternoon in a public place going after big dude who's tatted up. Interesting. There was a rumor going around the internet, and I don't think it's been real, and I don't think it's real, that Ricky took the dude's gun and shot him with it, basically, is how this whole thing ended. I guess the guy did get shot in the entirety. Whether Pearsall took this guy's gun and shot him with it with his own hand, did the old turn like you see in movies and shoot back at him. Whatever the case, this is a wild way to start your NFL career in a brand new city. Hope Godspeed on the recovery. Can't wait to see him on the field with this 49ers offense.
It's just crazy. I mean, if you're we've been to San Francisco, and when we were there at the time, it was like, I mean, obviously it's gotten much worse since then, I think, from everything we've read, but that's what everyone's like. This is like a very popular tourist location. And just like he's
3:30 in the afternoon.
He's going to an autograph signing. I think they said the guy was trying to steal his Rolex, and obviously Pearsall was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, no, I'm not giving you my Rolex. And I think it was, they get into a little entanglement, and he fucking went through him, hit the other guy. And then, I mean, I cannot believe this guy's not dead.
What a wild scene. What a start to an NFL career. Can't wait to see what he becomes in there. Haason Reddick still holding out of the building, only one in the NFL still, has yet to appear, I believe, at anything for them. So we have no idea how that ends up. Hopefully they get him back on the field, because Jets-Niners Monday Night Football, boy, in addition of Haason Reddick on that Jets defense, we could see some great action on Monday Night Football, AJ.
Well, what is the deadline for Haason to where he loses the whole season? Isn't it like 8 weeks, though? I think by the 8th week or something, doesn't he have to be there, or he loses the whole season, he doesn't get a vested or accrued year, all that stuff?
Yeah, potentially. But then if he's willing to just sit out and say, well, I'm going to sit out next year too. And then the next year, it's like, I don't know where it ends, where it begins, how it stops, but only guy not in the building, I guess, is a wild thing, and maybe that'll be enough to kind of put it over the goal line, maybe get a deal done, or maybe some opportunity.
Well, and obviously he's a pass rusher, so go get the quarterback. But like, how long is it going to take him to learn the Jets playbook? Like, he doesn't know the play.
Coach Salo said he knows he's working on it.
Yeah.
He knows.
I think
said a lot.
He's a vet. He's been around. He's played a ton of positions throughout his whole career. I think he'll definitely be able to figure that out mentally, but physically, at this point, I don't know how many days they are. A week away now, pretty much, probably less than that for them to start. Obviously, you probably won't be out there week 1, but this is bad. I mean, you trade for the guy and you don't get this situated. It's bad. It's a bad look on the front office for the Jets. It's a bad look on Haason at this point, but at the same time, in these 30s, you got to get your money. This is probably the last opportunity where you get a big bag. He's been productive. He felt like he's earned it. I want to see it all played out, because you let Bryce Huff walk. He left and went to the Eagles. You brought him in to kind of replace that production. I want to see the Jets at full. I want to see everybody at full speed, full strength going into it. So I hope they get it figured out sooner than later.
Yeah, I hope so too. You know what's not going to get figured out is Dak and the Cowboys, it feels like. He was quoted as saying, I stopped, honestly, listening to things that Jerry says in the media. That's great.
Unbelievable.
That's great. The quarterback's just like, listen, there's media Jerry, and then there's owner Jerry.
Yeah, we all know.
There's the Jerry I deal with. There's the Jerry you deal with. There's Jerry. I mean, I don't even put any stock in any of it. I think we all feel the same way here, and it's kind of an interesting view on it because it's different than how we feel about everybody else. It's like Dak shouldn't get a deal done. Dak should wait until he becomes a free agent, or at least the illusion of becoming a free agent, because that number could get bananas, and people were talking about $60 million a year potentially if he gets to free agency, because some team that's very desperate will make a play for it all. AJ, that is quite a luring potential offer that is out there that is a ghost kind of. Like, is Dak chasing a ghost here if he goes to free agency? If Kirk doesn't have success with the Atlanta Falcons, even though we think he will, has there been, in recent memory, somebody go to free agency and then have massive success after getting paid like whatever percentage of the salary cap that would be? Because you think about Tom Brady, he got like $25 million a year or whatever. Peyton Manning, maybe whenever he went over to Denver, what was his contract? Was it absurd? Was it very
at the time? It had to be at the time, right? Compared to the rest of the quarterbacks.
Stafford wasn't.
He went and broke a record.
Yeah,
He threw for 55 touchdowns.
Yeah, more touchdowns than ever.
7 in the first week.
It's like everybody has had success seemingly whenever they go to a new place, but it's not like go to a new place and also have 20% of the salary cap or whatever it is, because you got to build the team somehow around it.
This just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Like Kirk's 36. I assume I don't remember how old Peyton was, but he was. Dak's only 31. Like, it doesn't happen. A quarterback like this doesn't hit the market like this ever.
He got $58 million, I guess, guaranteed. Is that what I was just told?
Yeah, Peyton signed a 5-year, $96 million contract with 58 guaranteed.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, these deals,
I bet it might have been.
No, for sure. But
a new place saying, like, yeah, we're going to spend whatever percentage of the salary cap, whatever that would end up being, on this guy that has never been in our building would be unprecedented times. And every other quarterback would be like, all right, I got to get the free agency. How do I get the free agency? This entire thing.
Like you said, it just doesn't happen. It's not. Why would it? Even when Deshaun was available, like, you saw what he went for, because rarely do these guys hit in their prime. It's kind of like pass rushers. Pass rushers, it'll happen more often than quarterbacks, but you just don't let a guy out of your building. And Dallas kind of drugged it along the first time they paid Dak his big deal. Kind of paid him a year too late, and I think he got 40 at the time, which was a huge number. So he might be. I hope he's right back in that. I want all these guys to get that money. I hope he's right back in that position where he can kind of hold them hostage to a point. Obviously, he wants to play well, and I think he will this year. But I think he for sure goes out there and get that 60+ going forward.
Dak is going to get paid.
Yeah.
That's the whole conversation. It's like, what is Dak's belief? Dak just feels like no matter what, I'm going to get paid. So why would we even worry about this? Even if he gets injured.
Yeah.
In which none of us want. Knock on nobody. We want nobody to get injured. But even if he gets injured, it does not matter. Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles last year. Still got paid. It's like Dak is sitting in that spot because of everything he's earned and how well he has played up into this point. But it's like, if I'm Dak, I'm not worried about a damn thing. I'm just going out there slinging it and seeing where we can get to in the free agency area.
yeah, I suppose you could think that, hey, one of these desperate teams will either give me 60 to 65 million. But like, if you're the Cowboys, and like, what is Micah Parsons' new deal going to look like? Like, are they going to be willing to pay 3 guys like 45 to 50% of their salary cap? Like, how the hell are you going to build a team around? I mean, like,
well, Jerry Jones said, ain't no motherfucker can do it better than
he's
me.
the best in the fucking business.
That is true. If you have the highest paid wideout, edge, and quarterback, could be tough. Maybe I don't know. I'm not a cap guru.
What's the alternative though? The alternative is you have to draft very great, and you have to draft the perfect quarterback that you can have for 2 or 3 years on his rookie deal.
Well, Shedeur Sanders is obviously
Yeah, there we go. Okay, here we go.
Last thing before we go, did you see Jaden Daniels? I believe in Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
This guy, athlete. We know that.
Dude, every single portion of his body.
Did they practice this thing? Did they practice it all? Because he was
Run it.
direct, like on the with the audience. Amazing.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Are we
6,
sure
7,
this
8.
is
7, 8.
What?
What?
8.
Commander's TikTok.
7, 8. 6, 7, 8.
We sure what?
5, 6, 7, 8.
We sure this is
4,
Jaden
5,
Daniels?
6, 7, 8.
Oh,
3,
good
4, 5,
question.
6, 7, 8.
The internet told me it
2, 3,
was.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
The internet told me it was Jaden, and I'm going to roll with it.
It is.
I am a believer now.
Yeah.
All it took was having
that one you over right there?
Could you imagine having control of your wrist? Just to be that perfectly, you think he can figure out the NFL? Yeah.
I think
he can figure out how to fucking move his goddamn.
Oh, now that elbow picture.
Yeah, exactly.
Pops that thing.
Yeah.
He literally popped.
Motherfucker triple jointed.
He might be.
He's a dog.
That's going to help him.
We need to remember that all these videos seemingly don't serve any purpose, but they do.
They do.
They do. Here and there.
What song is being chosen to use through the video? Big decision.
Oh, yeah.
What they're doing in the video, massively important. That shit, okay. Well, I want to see Patrick Mahomes give it a go.
Bingo.
And then we'll.
There were 2 quarterback videos on game day on Saturday, and one was very good, and the other one didn't look so good, and that team didn't win.
What are you talking about?
Hey, Riley Leonard, when he was fishing with Pete, he stole my heart. Okay.
Pete stole my heart.
Pete had my heart.
Pete's an angler.
The high water's on?
He is.
Pete casted.
Yeah.
In the middle of this thing, there's people standing right behind him.
So good.
Connor Wegman with
Oh, no, that was not Jaden Daniels. Oh, no.
What?
Oh, no.
Who is it?
Who was it then?
I mean, yeah.
I'm not a believer.
But it was the Commander's TikTok, wasn't it?
found that?
It was a member of the command force.
That was a double.
Is Jaden not a member of the command force?
He is the command force now.
Now we got to wait to see if he can
Who
play
are
football.
we? The Commanders.
Damn.
Oh, no.
I guess we got to wait and see if he can play football, I
Yeah.
guess.
Now we don't know. For sure. Now we don't
A
know.
lot more questions now.
That's tough.
Oh, boy.
God damn, whoever that command force member is needs to be a part of our breakdancing crew. Going
Yeah.
That's a dog.
Hats off to you.
Fucking A.
Wait, did they sell it as Jaden Daniels, though? Like, what,
The internet,
was he
yeah,
in
the internet
yeah,
did,
the
yeah.
internet
Yeah,
did, but the command force did not. That's Jonathan, the command force leader. He's from Atlanta. He's second year vet at George Mason.
Oh, boy.
That's gonna be
Jonathan fucking can really pop and lock
It's
it.
gonna be one of those situations like a Jamal Murray, Jason Tatum. Like, hey, I dare Jaden to have a bad game.
That's exactly what all the comments were.
We're gonna see a lot of
bad.
lot of
All
pop
right,
knocking.
I'm happy we get to the bottom of that. I don't
Really
know if Jaden's
pop and
going to be
lock
good
it.
or not.
It's journalism.
At his journalistic standards.
Yeah.
What if Jaden's better than that? What if they put out one with
be.
Jaden? He's better than John.
Better?
AJ.
Come on. Come on.
You saw this just like we did.
Come on.
Right.
How about us? How
4,
about
5, 6,
us?
7, 8.
Oh,
I stand
the elbow
corrected.
with the elbow thing, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Well, Jonathan's got a pretty good fucking elbow, too.
He does.
Yeah. Is he back up?
Those things are on command.
Oh, my God.
Fucking hey, Jonathan, I think you're in the wrong profession. I don't think you should be in the command force. I think you should be out there with Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, exactly.
Just every night do that.
America's Got Talent.
Something. Gold buzzer.
Yeah, he'd get a gold buzzer.
Does AGT still go?
Imagine, Simon, count to 7.
Yeah.
And then do it again. I don't want to do this. 1, 2, 3.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Send him.
Gold buzzer.
Fuck it.
6, 7, 8.
Just any number, 2, 8. Does that show still got it? I haven't seen it in a while.
I didn't know if it's still on, so.
I used to be on
Howard, is Howard still there?
I saw a cool one
It used to be
recently.
my dream
I
job.
don't think Howard leaves.
I think it still would be dream job. What a show.
It runs over
AGT.
now, though, right? Because it goes through the summer, and then once the fall gets here, it usually they get rid of that fucker. Football time.
Football. Jeez. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You know.
Think about how fun that show would be, though. Just the random shit that's just showing up right in front of you. It's like, all right, best shows in the entire world are just going to get carted out in front of you. Just talk about it. Deal.
Sounds good.
Boy, this is all. How long you got to be here for? We're going to film for 6 hours today. So 6 hours worth of the world's best shit is about to come in from me. Yeah, and then we'll film tomorrow, and then we're probably done for about a month. It's like, okay.
Sign me up.
Fucking gig of a lifetime. I enjoy watching people do shit live. Like, I like watching people perform. Like, I like, no matter what it is, I can get interested in it. If it's a speaker, I can watch a speaker speak about whatever the fuck they're talking about because I want to see how they handle what they're doing at a high level, you know? Like, my wife and I will go to those shows in New York, on Broadway, off Broadway, all that. And it, like, the story, okay. A motherfucker sprinting from one side of the stage to the other, jumping, screaming, singing, dancing, and then going down around the entire thing, coming back, doing a backflip while singing. It's like, dog. I don't know who that is, but I'm watching for that, you know, in the entirety of it all. So, you know.
Fucking Red Panda.
Exactly.
Bingo. Her live. You know, the opposite end of the spectrum was a fucking magician up
Mike
there.
Malone?
Yeah, Mike Malone. That was horse shit, but
What?
Red Panda.
Come
Horse
on.
Malone! He
Watch-
swallowed 30 needles.
That guy.
Watch that
Yeah.
happen.
Hey,
Guy fucking.
Impressed.
Jeez.
All right, but Red Panda.
Bunch.
Watch it. We have some breaking news out of San Francisco 49ers practice. Ayuk, Trent, and Christian McCaffrey seen on practice field. Everybody's back. Everybody's hugging. Everybody's happy. Congrats to the Niners handling all the shit that they had going on. And all eyes now on football after Shanahan hosts a throwback mobster gangster party and Ricky Pearsall, actual mobster gangster, gets shot in the chest.
Yes.
So the Niners seem to be back. That's what it feels like.
Any rest? I mean, these guys are top of their position group. Any rest week one with them all being only back for 1 week before?
Nah, it feels like it's okay.
Just want to make
They're
sure.
They're vets.
Speed ahead.
Everybody's going to be A-okay. You know, they're talking about Jamar Chase, and if you get him back, how much can you use? They're going to use Jamar Chase. Yeah. If he's under contract, they're going to.
We're getting close for that one.
Gonzalez is
Very
gonna,
close.
It's a tough matchup. I'm just saying. D-Bush.
But he posted, I guess, Jamar Chase posted a
meme.
A meme of
Hezbollah.
Hezbollah looking at his phone, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of kicked up, looking at his phone. What's that mean? Jamar's just waiting on something?
That's got to get done in the next couple.
I mean,
Hezbollah's got that
Bengals
little
fans better hope. 'Cause
They were the greatest photos of all time.
They were attacking Schefter last week, so they better hope he plays.
1 cent more than Justin.
Yep.
That's what came out, right? Allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also, he's doing this because he just watched what they did to T. Higgins.
What do you mean?
Like, T. Higgins is now on the franchise tag because they didn't want to pay him in the last year of his contract, so now he's getting a year ahead of what they did to T. Higgins, right?
The Cincinnati Bengals are really selling used TVs from their stadium. All right.
That's not.
Is that real?
Hold on, is that real?
That can't be real.
85 inches for $60.
There's no way.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea, especially if you're moving into a new place.
It's not real.
$60, 85-inch TV. How can I get that 85 ship? Says George on tap. Got loves beers.
Yep.
Loves beers. Can't blame him. We don't know if that's real.
No,
I'd be sitting.
That wasn't Jaden Daniels.
Florio's reporting it.
All right, so $60, boys. We'll take 10 of the 85.
Yeah.
We will take 10 of those. We'll give a few away, obviously.
Sure.
If this goes in, we'll give away.
Okay. Oh, no.
Oh,
Get in.
Who?
That's my worst one yet.
Shit.
God,
Tough shot.
All right, so we're going to keep him. All right. I wanted to give them away, but I guess we're just going to have to.
200 have been sold. Another 150 will be available.
This is good business, though. Jamar Chase should see this and be pretty pumped up.
Yeah.
They're at least trying to,
Jamar get paid the next day.
Get that penny.
Hilarious.
We sold 2,000 TVs yesterday, Jamar, so that means that we can get to the number you were asking for. You said 1 penny more. Well, we had to sell 3 85-inch TVs yesterday. Hope you understand
That's
that.
hilarious because they were looking around the stadium of what can we sell to get this.
Used TVs from Bengals Stadium are being sold cheap. Who they say they go and buy them TVs?
Nice line for it.
As a renovation commences at Paycor Stadium, home of the Cincinnati Bengals, the power that be in Hamilton County have powered down a bunch of televisions and they're selling them. Via WCPO.com, we're on your side. 200 monitors have been sold and another 150 will be available later this week. The televisions are being sold at a steep discount with ranges from $30 to $60. The highest price can get a screen from 56 to 85 inches. That's quite a wide range there. It begins on July 13th at 8 a.m. Eastern. It's happening at Gate D of Paycor Stadium. The sale is cash only. Okay, this is drugs.
Yep.
Yeah.
With no remotes but free mounting brackets. Also, only 1 TV may be purchased per customer with no returns. So people are packing people in the trunk coming in. We're 6, 7, 8 deep in a car. We got cash only because we don't want to use card anyways. Are they filing these their taxes? They fucking better.
They better be.
Are there going to be any TVs in that stadium on Sunday?
This goes in. The answer is no. All right, so Steve,
Okay, good. Got a couple.
TVs. That's good news. Yeah, they probably already put them in there.
Yeah.
Are they selling the Jumbotron?
I think they just didn't want to put them all in a dumpster, right? They're like,
Yeah,
do we want to
Can't just
fucking
talk.
Bad
all
look.
these-
It's a bad look.
Give them away.
Look at all these good TVs.
Could donate them.
Yeah, donate them.
That's
People
pretty
in
much what
need.
they're doing. I mean, 30
Pretty
bucks.
much are.
I mean, they got a big time wide receiver they got to pay.
Donate.
If we can get a couple $60 here, $60 there, $60 here, $60 there, you get to what you got to get to.
A lot of fucking TVs in there, I bet.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I bet there's a lot.
350, right?
Jeez Louise. Well, how many Brian take to the house?
True.
I need
Good
85
point.
inches.
Yeah, probably a few of those.
Yeah. Katie, you want any? Of course. Get yours fucking before we sell them. These things are going like hotcakes.
Yeah.
Only 1 per customer, but we're going to get them. All right, let's get out of here. This is the part of the show where, really.
The Jaden Daniels into this. We should head out. We should head out.
We're lied to. We apologize.
Yeah.
Jonathan's fucking good.
He is.
Talent.
He is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
How about his 4, 5, 6, 7, 8?
Oh my God.
Yeah, just the left one.
Half his body. That was nailed it. Hey, Jonathan, you crushed it, dude.
Hell yeah, John.
Yeah.
We apologize, Jay. We were lied to. It was far away. It was,
Sunglasses on.
Yeah.
Great movement. It was complimentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're back tomorrow with more of that bullshit. Big announcement, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news. Roger Goodell will be on the show tomorrow to kick off the NFL season before he hops on a bird to go to Brazil. I believe to get everything ready for big-time Friday night action, Thursday night, obviously Chiefs and Ravens. So we can't thank him enough for joining us, and it should be a great conversation as we embark on a season that's going to be bigger and better than ever. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this for a living. That's AJ Hawk. The boys are here. We'll be back tomorrow with more stupidity. We hope you will join us. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change your life. We're in this thing together. Team on me, team on three. 1, 2, 3, team. Goodbye.